Greetings in the bonds of peace, and welcome to Ishi One. My name is Dr. Sean Lyons. I am a forever student of the divine vision and revelation of Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley, who had his vision in the state of Ohio in the year 1931. Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley proved these facts on three ecclesiastical peace missions to every religious organization and school of the highest learning around the world from 1958 to 1976. As a result of his divine vision and revelation, he transcribed this book called God, the Archetype, Original Pattern of the Universe. Within this publication, Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley had sent this book to every religious organization, every president elect, every king and queen of the earth, along with a Holy Name Version Bible transliterated by A.B. Traina and Italian Hebrew, with the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. The true and correct title is Elohim. The name of the Son is Yahshua, the Messiah. Within the inscription, Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley revealed to the world this threefold tabernacle pattern. To Moses. He revealed this threefold intangible tabernacle pattern to Moses in 1490 BBY upon Mount Sinai, which is here. And later on commanded Moses to build one exactly like it in the wilderness, which was the establishment of the apothecary. This was later revealed to John the Revelator that Yahshua, the Messiah, was the true Eloah, who Yahweh sent for the remissions of sins in the world by the operation of blood, water, and spirit. In John 19:33 through 37 bears the record of John, the Revelator, that when the soldier pierced Yahshua in his side, that forthwith came blood and water. As well, that was written in Hebrews by the Apostle Saul. 9:14 through 15 reveals that Yahshua offered himself one time through his eternal spirit unto the Father to remove sin in the flesh through his death, his burial, his resurrection, his ascension, and the outpouring of his Holy Spirit that manifested in AD 33. And the blessing was passed along to the Gentile nation in AD 40, all the way along until this present day in the kingdom age. This can be found on page 69 through page 86 in volume 1, called The Comparative Analyst or Apocalyptic Confirmation of the Creation. Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley also revealed to us in the same publication on page 129 of volume 1, entitled Yahweh, the All in All, that Yahweh Elohim is the substance, the limits, and the bounds of all things, and that Yahweh is the all, and in all. Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley gave us rules of engagement pertaining to his vision that the manifestation will change but the principle will remain the same. That being said, study to show thyself approved, a workman who needs not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And may the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, teach you all things. My aims and objectives is to help you find Yahshua the Messiah in your heart and in your mind. 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 5. 1 Corinthians 6, 17, 20. 2 Corinthians 3, 1 through 6. My second aim is to show you how Yahweh Elohim wrote his laws in your inward parts. Jeremiah 31, 31. Hebrews 8, 10 through 13. My third aim and objective is to help you discern the sons of Elohim and the sons of the devil. 1 John, 3rd chapter, 1 John, 4th chapter, verses 1 through 10. My fourth aim and objective is to show and prove that Yahshua is the true Eloah, whom Yahweh have sent. 1 John 5 and 20 and John 17 and 3. At this particular time, we will have prayer, scripture reading, announcements, our script ascertainment and perception and direction exam. We will have a speaker, and then we will end with the doxology, which is Romans 16th chapter, verses 25 through 27. At this particular time, I will be giving the prayer for this evening. And I would like to ask Heavenly Father, once again, that I would like to thank you for another opportunity to be able to have something to say pertaining to your purpose, your pattern, and your plan. I thank you for all the things that you have revealed to me. And I ask, Father, as you have revealed them to me, that I can reveal them to the world. I hope that it would be something that will help someone find you in spirit and in truth, to where they may be able to serve you in spirit and in truth. Your servant humbly asks these things, Father, that you be praised, you be gloried. I ask, Heavenly Father, that you use your servant to bring forth your message, what you want to be said and what you want to be shared. These humble prayers I ask in the name of your only begotten Son, Yahshua the Messiah, which is my King, my Savior, and my Master. Our scripture reading today will be First Chronicles, the 29th chapter. I will be your scripture reader. I will be reading from the Holy Name Version Bible, critically compared with ancient authorities and various manuscripts revised by the late A.P. Trainer from the printed by Yahshua Promotions. Furthermore, David the king said unto all the congregation, Solomon, my son, whom alone Elohim have chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great. For the palace is not for a man, but for Yahweh Elohim. Now I have prepared with all my might for the house of my Elohim, the gold for things to be made of gold, and the silver for the things of silver, and the brass
for the things of brass, the iron for the things of iron, the wood for the things of wood, oxystone and stone to be set in glycerine stone, and of divers colors and all manner of precious stones and marble stones in abundance. Moreover, because I have set my affections to the house of my Elohim, I have set my own property, gold and silver, which I have given to the house of my Elohim, over and above all that I have prepared for the house, for the holy house, even 3,000 talents, 7,000 talents of refined of gold, and the gold of Ophir, and silver to overlay the walls of the house withal, the gold for the things of gold, and the silver for the things of silver, and for all manner of work to be made by the hands of the artificers. And who then is willing to consecrate his service this day unto Yahweh? Then the chief of the fathers of princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, with the rulers over the king's work, offered willingly, and gave for the service of the house of Elohim of gold 5,000 talents, and 10,000 drams, and of silver 10,000 talents, and of brass 18,000 talents, and 100,000 talents of iron. And they with whom precious stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of Yahweh by the hand of Gehiel the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced, for that they offered willingly, because with perfect heart they offered willingly to Yahweh. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy. Wherefore David blessed Yahweh before all the congregation. And David said, Blessed be thou, Yahweh Elohim of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Thine, O Yahweh, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victor and the majesty. For all that is in the heavens and in the earth is thine. Thine is the kingdom, O Yahweh, and thou art exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come of thee, and thou reignest over all. And in thy hand is power and might, and in thy hand it is to make great and to give strength unto all. Now therefore, our Elohim, we thank thee and praise thee, thy glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able to offer so willingly after this sort? For all things come of thee, and of thine own have we given thee. For we are strangers before thee and sojourners, as were all our fathers. Our days on the earth are as a shadow, and there is none abiding. O Yahweh, our Elohim, all this store that we have prepared to build thee an house for thine holy name cometh of thine hand, and is all thy own. I know also, my Elohim, that thou triest the heart, and hast pleasure in uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of my heart, I have willingly offered all these things, and now have I seen with joy thy people, which are present here, to offer willingly unto thee. O Yahweh Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers, keep this forever in thy imagination of the thoughts of the hearts of thy people, and prepare their hearts unto thee. And give unto Solomon my son a perfect heart, to keep thy commandments, thy testimonies, and thy statutes, and to do all these things, and to build the palace for which I have made provisions. And David said to all the congregation, now bless Yahweh your Elohim. And all the congregation blessed Yahweh Elohim, their fathers, and bowed down their heads and worshiped Yahweh and the king. And they sacrificed sacrifices unto Yahweh, and offered burnt offerings unto Yahweh on the morrow after the day, even 1,000 bullocks, 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel, and did eat and drink before Yahweh on that day with great gladness. And they made Solomon the son of David king the second time, and anointed him unto Yahweh to be the chief governor, and Zodek to be the priest. Then Solomon sat on the throne of Yahweh as king instead of David his father, and prospered. All in Israel obeyed him. And all the princes and the mighty men and all the sons likewise of King David submitted themselves unto Solomon the king, and Yahweh magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all of Israel, and bestowed upon him such royal majesty as has not been on any king before him in Israel. Thus David the son of Jesse reigned over all Israel, and the time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 33 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And he died in a good old age, full of days, riches, and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his stead. Now the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer, with all his reign and his might, and the times that went over him, and over Israel, and over all the kingdoms of the country. I have read to you First Chronicles, the 29th chapter.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. This particular time, we will have our announcements. And we will have our ecologies. The announcements hasn't really changed from the previous announcements. I haven't heard any updates on the well-being of Elder Alex Bailey. So I still, to my understanding, and believe that all the information pertaining to how to get in contact with him through Elder Tony Bailey, it still stands. And I haven't heard anything else on our other brethren. So that being said, I will move on to our ecologies. In our ecologies, that we have that the governor declares a drought emergency in the northwest counties. Geography, it says that the Russian River watershed is hard hit by the lack of rainfall. The emergency order will allow state officials to relax some restrictions on reservoirs and assist endangered fish. It says that Governor Galvin Newsom declared a drought emergency due to low rainfall and snowpack, but state water officials said that the other regions aren't hit hard enough yet to declare a statewide emergency. It says that Sonoma and Mendocino County has been hit the hardest because of the region relies a lot on the rainfall within the Bay Area.
And then as well, it has been reported that that we've been having submarine volcanoes have released enough energy to power the United States. It says, according to a new study of volcanologists, assume that underwater volcanic activity is less violent than their peers on land, yielding slow-moving lava.
It says new data collected suggests that submarine volcanoes distribute volcanic ash across vast underwater distances. It says the data shows that megaplumes are formed by large and fast moving um, columns of heat of water, which follow similar patterns to plumes above ground eruptions, moving upward and horizontally.
So what
It's saying is that the scientists has been looking at the activity of the volcanoes which have been erupting underwater and is trying to figure out some type of way to use that as some type of an energy source. So it says that they've been collecting data and they have been, looking at, these things pertaining to what we talk about of how that Mother Earth produces, its own natural resources. So that will be the ending of the announcements. And then at this particular time, what we will be doing is getting into our lesson at this particular time. So what we will be doing is that we will be picking up where we were last, and what we're going to do is that we're going to go back and pick up where we were in this particular book of our school system. And I'm going to have Dr. Johnson go back and pick up where he was on page 6. And what we're going to do is that we are going to have our perception and direction exam manifest with the reading within this book. And what we're going to be doing is showing forth how the authenticity of the divine vision and revelation of our founder authenticate the divine vision and revelation that's behind that was had in the year of 2002, which is called the Ishi. So at this particular time, that's what we will be doing. And so Dr. Johnson, do you have that booklet, that book handy?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me a second. Let me get the everything set up here so that we can go over our examination with our viewers. And what we're going to do with the examination tonight, we're going to try to give our viewers a few principles on the Ishi chart here. So go ahead. We had finished up where we were. I believe that you had stopped at Malachi, and right before we had finished up the lecture, I had summed up where you were reading. So if you can start where it says the third trip of Moses into Mount Sinai, when, yes, right there, when he is shown the 7 days of a recapitulation of the 7 days of creation and genealogies of mankind.
Yeah.
So if you would start there for me, we could go ahead and kind of like get in, to our lecture here.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead. I'll just keep this right here just so I can follow along with you. Go ahead, Doc.
All right. I'll be reading to you page 6 of Explaining the 40 Days that Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden by the threefold trek of Moses into Mount Sinai, and also the blood and water of the Adamic transgression plate. Page 6. Thus, Moses, after 40 days of fasting and praying or interceding unto Joshua for Israel, he hews him out 2 more tables of stone, like unto the first, and goes back up into Mount Sinai and into the phenomenal cloud the 3rd time.
I'll stop right there. So
Mhm.
now what it is talking about, that we understand that pertaining to the vision here of our founder, that we have here give me one moment. We have
Mhm.
right here that we shared with you that at the time that Moses had went up on his first trip for his first 40 days up into the mountain, that when he received these tables of stone, that when the preparing of this golden calf was being done, that Joshua the son of Nun and Moses descended the mount. When Moses had seen the golden calf, it had angered Moses, and Moses had threw down the table of stone and broke them. So now at this particular time, it is Yahweh Elohim had given Moses a commandment to hew out 2 more tables of stone likened unto the first, so that Moses can be able to bring these tables of stone back up into the mountain and have Yahweh Elohim write on the tables of stone the same commandments that were on them before. So it is saying that Yahweh Elohim, after he commissioned Moses to come up here, it is showing forth how that Moses had fasted for 40 days. Okay. So now what we're doing is that we're showing these principles here of how they manifested what Moses was doing. And so what we're doing is that we're going to go to this particular chart and we're going to share and show forth the same principles. Now, what we have shared with you previously was that when you're looking at this particular plate right here, it is showing forth how that it is a manifestation of plate 22, which is a picture of a modern day, in other words, Tower of Babel, okay? But in essence, to where we're showing forth how that this is a manifestation of the foundation, which was a satanic foundation, and it shows forth how that it has a multi-principle to manifest the cup and the laver simultaneously. But what we're trying to show forth is that when you look at these 2 particular buildings, we understand what happened, how that these 2 towers were destroyed by the airplanes when this event pertaining to the World Trade Center had happened. So what we are doing is that we are using both of these towers, or in essence, as the 2 tables of stone that Moses had threw down when he had seen the transgression of the children of Israel that happened within the holy place. So now what we're doing is viewing how Moses, is throwing this down as we understand how he is removing plate 6A from the chest cavity of Elohim, manifesting right here. So as we see how Moses is throwing this down, it's in essence to how he had destroyed the first tables of stone. So now when we look right up here, and where Dr. Johnson is reading how that Moses had to hew up 2 more tables of stone, it's like it unto we understand, we see Moses right here, and he is sitting upon the second age. Let me kind of focus in a little bit so you can see. And that is likened unto the 2 tables of stone that he had to hew up himself, so that Yahweh Elohim could write with his finger again upon these 2 tables of stone what he had written the first time. Now we explained to you that this is a manifestation of Moses being atop of Mount Sinai, as well as the meeting tent, as well as this is a manifestation of the moon, and as well as a manifestation of being the woman's stomach. Okay? So we understand that everything that is manifesting is multi-principle. But what we want to do is take you back and show you, according to the things that our founder has written, that the same principles are being applied on the chart being revealed. Continue, Dr. Johnson.
Please remember that we have already shown that Adam was in the Garden of Eden for 33 days, according to Moses' vision in the Mount the second time. And at the end, or conclusion of that 40-day vision and period, one cannot reckon about Adam's stay in the garden because the vision was ended at the end of that 40-day period. And one does not have anything to reckon with. Before we discuss Moses' third trip into Mount Sinai, let us be apprised of the fact that Moses gave a day-by-day account of his 40-day stay in the mountain and in the cloud to the children of Israel, for they questioned him as to what happened all of that time and why it took him so long to return unto them. Now, as Moses recounts to the children of Israel the events of his 40-day stay in the mount, Joshua, or Joshua the son of Nun, who was standing nearby, knew that he left out some important facts and details of the things that he had showed him in the mount. Joshua did not worry about this, however, because he knew that he was going to bring it back to Moses' remembrance regarding such omissions. Just as Joshua the Messiah, having said many things unto his disciples during the 3.5 years of his ministry, told his disciples thusly, but the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. When Moses goes into the Mount of Sinai and into the phenomenal cloud the third time, the first order of business is the rewriting of the 10 Commandment law in the 2 tables of stone which Moses had hewed out himself and carried up into the mount and placed in the same and precise indentation in the rock in the mountain where the first tables of testimony, which Moses broke, were written on by the finger of Elohim. It was necessary to rewrite this law first because this was the precise way that Yahweh Elohim did in speaking the 10 Commandment law first from the mount before he called Moses into the mount to show him the creation of the heavens and the earth. This was done thusly to show or typify that the whole creation came into existence under the infallible control of spirit law.
Now stop right there. So now, based upon what was just read and what we have been pictorially sharing with you, to show forth how that when you see Moses manifesting himself right here, we share with you how that Moses is seeing not only the man Adam being formed from the dust of the ground, see, but as well as showing forth all of the days of creation. So what we have been sharing with you, that when you look at this particular chart, it is showing forth how we shared with you how we have the first man, Adam, manifesting himself right here along with the first day of creation. And then along with the first day of creation, we showed you how that is also manifesting along with the first dispensation and the first river that is manifesting within the Garden of Eden. So now you can see how with the recap, it is showing forth how that you are looking at the first day of creation manifesting here, the second day manifesting here, the third day of creation manifesting here, the fourth day of creation manifesting here. And then we understand that when we go to the outer, see, we understand that we see the fifth day of creation, see, that's manifesting here, as we understand it to be as with the ontological and biological king. And then we come right back here to Elohim manifesting himself as Adam, see, as the sixth day of creation, when the man was created from the dust of the ground. So what we wanted to do was to go back and show you how and what Moses is seeing pertaining to when it is talking about the time period of when Moses was up in the mountain, see, seeing the divine vision in Revelation. Now, I just shared with you that Moses seen the first 6 days of creation. And then after the first 6 days of creation, then after that, Moses started to see the preparing of the construction of the tabernacle pattern for the remainder 33 days. So this is what it's talking about, that pertaining to the divine vision and revelation, that if Moses was up in the mountain for 40 days, and 7 days that he's seen the days of creation, which is manifesting right here within the blue portion of this particular chart. See? And then Yahweh Elohim gives him the instructions to be able to build this threefold intangible tabernacle pattern, as I shared with you in my opening statements, how this was the establishment of the apothecary. Then it shows forth and give reason how that the man was within the garden for a remainder of the 33 days until Moses goes back up there and sees this recap, which is talking about right now. So go ahead and continue where you are, Dr. Johnson.
It does not take Yahweh Elohim long to rewrite the 10 Commandment law in the second tables of stone. And then he turns his attention of the second order of business, which is the recapitulation or rehearsing of the whole 6 days of the creation of the heavens and earth, in order to bring to Moses' attention the things that he had omitted in his account to the children of Israel. We have already learned that Moses stays in the mount another 40 days on the occasion of this, his third trip, and the Creator starts with day number 1 in his recapitulation or rehearsing of the creation of the heavens and the earth. It is quite obvious that he began again at the beginning of his vision of the creation, for Moses had given the impression in his account to the Israelites that Yahweh Elohim created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. So the Creator brings to his remembrance that they were created in the day of eternity.
Right. Now, that is showing forth how that is the day with no beginning and no end. And you have to understand that the things that we had shared with you, see, that pertaining to when we had dispensated, how that here, on the divine vision and revelation of our founder, how that Yahweh Elohim had instructed Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel to remain here. See? And we understand that when Moses was up here, that they left. And we had showed you the illustrations of that, pertaining to that, how we dispensated, how that when we see how the children of Israel were here, and Yahweh Elohim has spoke down. And then Yahweh Elohim had called Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and the 70 elders, see up here, to see Yahweh Elohim. That when Moses was up there, that they left. And we showed you that here. So now that had put in question Moses based upon the things that he seen when he was up here. Now where we are is, it showed forth how that Moses had written all these things right here. And based upon everything that Moses had seen, says that Yahshua, the son of Nun, who is the true Elohim, or the God of Israel, said that Moses had left out a few things. So now what's basically getting ready to happen is that our founder is getting ready to give an explanation, see, of the things that Moses has written. So go ahead, Dr. Johnson, and read so that we can bring the viewers up to date on where we are pertaining to the accounts of Moses being up within the mountain or in the cloud.
It is necessary to say at this point that the great majority of Bible scholars do not know that the chapter 1 of Genesis represents Moses' second trip into the mount, while chapter 2 represents his third trip into the mount.
Stop right there. Now that's very, very important, because see, some scholars says that that those two accounts wasn't even written. Both of those accounts wasn't even written by Moses. You have a whole lot of scholars saying a whole lot of things about the first and second chapter of Genesis. Now, we understand that the Bible is one of the most controversial books in the world.
Yeah.
But it takes a divine vision and revelation to be able to break down the things that are said within the Bible and properly put them within the proper context. Now, right here, see, when the founder is making the statement and he is telling you about the first and second account, couldn't nobody know that unless they were there. That is an impossibility for someone to be able to tell you how these scriptures were written. So now we're getting ready to go into the accounts written, see, by our founder, so that he can give an explanation, see, on these things that he's getting ready to reveal. Now, don't know Bible scholars, like we talked about within our last lecture, know these things. It takes a vision and revelation, or it takes for Yahweh Elohim himself to be able to reveal these things unto a man. Go ahead, Dr. Johnson, read.
They, the Bible scholars, think that these are two versions or account of the creation. Example, the Babylonian and Hebrew. However, chapter 1 of Genesis belongs in the 24th chapter of Exodus at verse 16, where the grammar
right there. It says that the first chapter, read that again.
Okay.
That the first
However, chapter 1 of Genesis belongs in the 24th chapter of Exodus at verse 16.
Stop right there. So now I'm at the 24th chapter of Exodus, and I'm at verse 16. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up a little bit to gather the train of thought. And I'm going to read this so that our viewers could kind of get an understanding of what statement that we are making a declaration on. Okay? So now here I'm going to start at verse 12, and it reads as follows. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, come up to me into the mount and be there. Now, it has a colon right there. And then it says, I will give thee tables of stone and a law and commandments which I have written, and thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua. There's another colon. And Moses went up into the mountain of Elohim. And he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you. That's pertaining to when he was talking to Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and the 70 of the elders that are manifesting right here. Now, as I said, we showed how that they were there and they was told and instructed to remain here. Okay? And so then it says, he says, behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went up into the mount. Okay? And Moses went up into the mount. And the cloud covered the mount. Verse 16. And the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. Colon. Okay? Now, right here is where we stop. Because it says that this cloud had covered the mountain, see? And it says that it covered it for 6 days. So now we have Moses manifesting himself up here within the mountain. He's getting ready to see the 6-day account of the creation comes in. So right here at that colon that you see within the scriptures is what it's talking about, to where we stop right there. And then we go to Genesis 1, which reads as follows. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And the earth became without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters, and Elohim said, let there be light. Now, this is going forth to show you how that when we show you a day-by-day sequence of the days of creation coming into existence, it is showing forth what is happening after Moses had ascended into the cloud and instructed Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu and the 70 of the elders to remain here on the plateau of the mountain. So now it is giving and showing forth how it is given a day-by-day sequence of the things that are coming in, going all the way to Genesis and its beginning. Now, Dr. Johnson, read right where you are within our textbook so that we can share with the viewers what takes place next.
Doc?
Yes, ma'am.
Just before you go forward with that, we need to add something right there, because the founder said, in other words, in the Holy Name version of the Bible, it said, and the earth became without form and void, but
Yes,
it is correctly rendered, the earth was without form and void, because that's where people get the idea that you had two creations in there.
that's correct.
So I just wanted to put that in there, because
That's
the
correct.
King James Version says it became, and the founder emphasized that it was.
Right.
Yes.
And one other thing that the founder had emphasized, he says that when you come to, it says, in the beginning, Elohim created. He also stated, he says, in the beginning of Moses' vision,
Yes.
Elohim created the heaven and earth, because it is a recapitulation.
Your mic is up.
Huh?
Your mic went out.
My mic went.
Yeah.
My mic went out. Uh-oh.
Okay.
You have to adjust it.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, how about now? Oh, I
think I was on the
You have a little echo in there.
okay,
I don't
yeah,
know why.
I think I was on the receiver. How about now? How am I sounding now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. I was on a receiver. I do apologize. So
Yeah. Thank you, Doc.
Yes. So now, see, these things are very, very important. So this is why our founder was sitting up saying about the things that the Bible scholars do not understand pertaining to how this book is written. And so these statements and facts are very, very, very important. So this is why that we're trying to go back and dispensate the things that have taken place on this migratory trek chart, so that you can be able to understand the things that we have been sharing with you pertaining to all the principles that we have been running from the beginning to the end. Okay, so now continue where you were, Dr. Johnson.
Okay. Where the grammatical mark, a colon, is located, and chapter 2 belongs in the 34th chapter of Exodus at verse 28.
Stop.
As well.
You said the 30, what chapter of Exodus?
34th.
Okay, so let us go to the 34th chapter of Exodus. And what verse was that? 34 and what?
Verse 28.
Verse 28. Okay. 34 and 28 of Exodus. And so, and what did you just state within our textbook? It says that what is this making a declaration of, Doc?
That belongs to the 34th chapter.
Go ahead and read what you just read over again, please.
Where the grammatical mark, a colon, is located, and chapter 2 belongs in the 34th chapter of Exodus at verse 28.
Okay, so now I am in the 34th chapter of Exodus, verse 28. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 34 and 1 for our viewers, so that they can understand that this is when Yahweh Elohim had instructed Moses to bring up 2 tables of stone likened unto the first, which the first he brake because of the transgressions that Moses observed when he seen the children of Israel with the golden calf. So now I'm going to go to, let me go up 2 verses, and I will start at verse 26 to get the train of thought to read down to verse 28. And it reads as follows in Exodus, the 34th chapter. first of the first fruits of the land thou shalt bring unto the house of Yahweh thy Elohim. Thou shalt not boil a kid in his mother's milk. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write these words, for after the tenor of the words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. Verse 28. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights, semicolon. And he did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. Now, right there, see, is where, see, that we stop and we go to the second chapter of Genesis. Because we have Moses within the mountain for 40 more days. And it's saying that he neither did eat or drink. And so therefore, after it said, after the first order of business, as it was stated, that Yahweh Elohim had written the tables of stone, the 10 Commandment law a second time, that now we go to the second chapter of Genesis. Mm-hmm. And it's stating this as a recapitulation when Moses is reiterating what was written in the first chapter of Genesis. And now Moses is saying that these are the origins of the heavens and the earth when they were created. In the day, Yahweh Elohim made the earth and the heavens. Mm-hmm. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahweh Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. And there went up a mist from the earth to water the whole face of the ground. And Yahweh Elohim formed man out of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now, this is what Yahshua, the son of Nun, wanted Moses to reiterate in the first chapter of Genesis, because he understood that Moses did not describe or say how or what the man was made out of. See? And so therefore, it also showed forth how it gave the origin of the heavens and the earth. Because with these words, it is showing forth the same thing of what we have been sharing with you from the very beginning. And that is how that when you look at the creative page, that we have been sharing with you, that everything that has been manifesting within the angelic creation has been manifesting simultaneously with the physical creation. And we've been showing you how that everything that had manifested within the angelic has manifested within the physical. So now when we go back to when it shows forth how it says that this is the origin of the heavens and the earth, it is showing forth how both of them are comprised together. And we show you the witnesses of heaven and earth being comprised together. For when we come here and we show you what had happened in the beginning with the man when he was kicked up out of the Garden of Eden, it is showing forth how that man and angels are cohabiting and living together. See? Go ahead, Dr. Johnson.
Okay. As well as all the rest of the whole book of Genesis. For we must remember that Moses is seeing in a divine vision all of the events and happenings and personalities that he is writing about. After Yahweh Elohim brings to Moses remembrance the very beginning of how he had created the heavens and the earth, he further rehearses the whole creation by reminding Moses that he had recounted in the first chapter of Genesis, 11th and 12th verses, the events of the third day of creation concerning the vegetation, and had said, and Elohim said, let the earth bring forth tender grass, and the herb yielding seed, the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth.
Stop right there. Now you
Mhm.
notice how Yahweh Elohim, with his recapitulation of the creation, how he told Moses to go to the third day of creation. Okay.
Mhm.
So now what we are doing is that we're going back to show forth that significant number of 3. Now we have showed you that pertaining to that significant number of 3, it takes us all the way back, see, to
Mhm.
plates 4, 5, and 6. Now we shared with you how that with these 3 particular plates was how that based upon the establishment of the apothecary that has something to do with Moses, how that the high priest had to make 3 trips, see, within the most holy place on the Day of Atonement. Now, within the scriptures, it just shared and showed you how that Moses had to go up within the mountain 3 times. Okay. So what we're doing is going back to the ontological state of perfection to show you, see, based upon the ecology, the reason of cause, the reason why that number 3 is so significant.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you hear about the 3 trips, okay, the 1, 2, and 3, you understand what I'm saying? We're taking you right back here to show you the origin and the reason why. Okay, we have to take you back to the etymology of the reason why that there are 3 trips that Moses had to go into the mountain, and then show you based upon the pattern by 1, 2, 3, how that Moses had to be up here within the most holy place to be able to receive that divine vision and revelation. Because what we are doing is that we're going back and we're showing you based upon, you understand what I'm saying, how that Yahweh Elohim is the true archetype, original pattern of the universe. We have to go back and show you that. And so therefore, everything after this is an explanation of the definition. I didn't mean to cut you off, Doc. I just had to go back because that is very, very important.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, go ahead and read.
He further rehearses the whole creation by reminding Moses that he had recounted in the first chapter of Genesis, 11th and 12th verses, the events of the third day of creation concerning the vegetation. He had said, okay, and Elohim said, let the earth bring forth tender grass and the herb yielding seed, the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth.
Now
And it
stop
was
right
so.
there. Now, when it is talking about the third day of creation, and we come here, see, and it says how seed yielding seed after its own kind, and it's showing forth these things right here, that we understand that when we go 3 days over, 1, 2, 3, see, that the same thing that applies within our biology or within the vegetation kingdom are the same things that are being applied, see, with the man. Okay? So this is the reason why that these things are so significant. And we have went back and showed you that everything that has manifested within the creation is also manifesting within the man. All of these principles. So what we do is that we always go back to show you these things and to show you how they are in relative to one another, is because that, as we said, it is showing forth how that Yahweh Elohim is the true archetypal pattern of the universe. So now when we come right here to our philoprotogenesis chart, we're showing you right here when it's talking about the third day of creation and everything that is manifesting, see, pertaining to all the flowers and everything that is talking about within our textbook that Dr. Johnson is reading, okay? Now this is manifesting the flowers and everything that Yahweh Elohim had formed, talking about the flowers and the herbs, okay? Now here is the explanation right here is showing forth how that flowers are, the flowers and man are relative to one another. Because we call it's called the gametosis when we look at the male and female with the gametosis, because we understand that it is a process of how that flowers are pollinated to either produce more flowers or more trees pertaining to the things that manifest within the biology realm. Okay. So we understand that pertaining to the gametosis, you understand what I'm saying, when gametosis has a sperm egg, and it also has a fertilization or a zygote, which we understand that we correlate to the reproductive system of man. Okay, so this is the reason why that the third day of creation, and we count 3 days over, and we say right here that this is after 3 days, and that's the formulation of when Yahweh Elohim had created the man from the dust of the ground. That these two, see, are in relative to one another, as well as when we went into the scriptures and showed forth how that we understand that men walk as trees. Okay, so now we are within the third day of creation, because the third day of creation is a representation of, we shared with you, the angelic creation, and as well as a witness to show forth how that Yahshua the Messiah would resurrect the third day. Okay, pertaining to these principles. So please continue.
And the earth brought forth tender grass, herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. In the above account, one gets the impression that the seed of vegetation sprang from the earth, but Yahweh Elohim brings to Moses remembrance that he had made every plant of the field before it was in the earth.
That's right.
And every herb of the field before it grew. Yahweh Elohim goes on to refresh Moses' memory that he had recounted in the first chapter of Genesis that, and Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, etc. But he had failed to say that the man was made from. So he brings to his remembrance that he had formed man of the dust of the ground. Now, all of the time, Yahweh Elohim is rewriting the 10 Commandment law and rehearsing with Moses the whole 6 days of the creation. Adam is still resting in the Garden of Eden. However, after the above things are done, which took a total of 7 days for Yahweh Elohim to show and tell Moses, then the Creator turns Moses' attention back to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And this is the point at which the devil enters the Garden of Eden and seduced the woman.
Stop right there. So now what he is talking about is showing forth how that we're seeing how Yahweh Elohim had formed the man from the dust of the ground here. And this is what he's talking about pertaining to the first account that Moses had written, that it says that he forgot to put in. So now we see how Yahweh Elohim had formed the man from the dust of the ground. See? And then how he opened up the man to take out the woman, which is here. And then it's showing forth how that the man and the woman was together before, Satan, you understand what I'm saying, came to bother them, see how when they were in perfect peace. So now we're just leading you up to show you all these particular things. But now on the spirituality of it, how we have been showing you how all these things have been perpetuating all the way down. Now here how you see how the spirit of Elohim is entering into the man, and the man is having a spiritual immersion. What we have been doing with you is showing you principles that have been manifesting all the way down. Now, Elder, I'm going to need you for a witness. And I wanted to say that I have received that picture of Adam and Eve in that plate that you had shared with me, and that was beautiful.
Okay, Dad.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, what we want to show our viewers, Elder, that when we had looked at, I believe that the 1960 version of this particular vision right here, we understand that Moses is laying down.
Let's see here. Wait a minute.
And he is laying on his back, and we understand that John is not like this. John is laying on his face.
Right,
Okay?
exactly.
Okay. So now what we're just trying to do is that we are trying to show you how the scriptures perpetuate. Okay. So now if you understand how that here we have the first man receiving the spirit of Elohim within his body, and the man is laying down.
Yes.
what we want you to pay attention to, that the same thing that is manifesting right here with the man Adam is manifesting right here with the man Moses.
Okay. Yes.
See? Okay. So now what we're sharing with you is that we understand that the man Adam was taken up out of a mountain, and the man was created standing up.
Right.
And then you have a cloud above the man to where it is showing forth how he has breathed in the breath of life and became a living soul.
Exactly.
What we do is that we show forth and we are showing you the same principles that is manifesting, see, with the man Moses.
Yes.
How that Moses, see, is up on top of the mountain.
Yes.
How the man was made of a mountain. And then we have a cloud over Moses, how we have a cloud over the man to where he had taken the breath of life and became a living soul.
Exactly.
Now, within our teaching, we say that Moses laid down the flesh here because Yahweh Elohim was talking to the soul of the man at this particular time.
Right.
See? And so therefore, we're showing you the same very principles of how Yahweh Elohim had laid down the man upon the mountain, how the man was taken from the mountain. And here it shows forth that the man became a living soul.
Yes.
And then we show forth how that after the third trip that Moses came up here and seeing Yahweh Elohim, that the man's face began to shine or began to shine, because it was showing forth how that the man's inner man was illuminated. And based upon it was also showing how man was in the presence of the Creator.
Hallelujah.
So therefore it is showing forth how in the beginning, how that the man, see, was upon a mountain here, and here it is, he's upon a mountain again. See?
Exactly.
And then we show forth how that, see, here he became a living soul, and he came forth from the mountain. And we understand that when we come here to Mount Nebo, that Moses went up in the mountain and he laid down and he never returned. So therefore it is showing forth how the man came in is how the man had laid down. And we're showing forth the beginning and the end. You understand what I'm saying? To show forth how that when the man Adam was created from the dust of the ground or the mountain, to where when Moses had received his enlightenment, you understand what I'm saying? And seen the Creator, how that the man Adam had seen Yahweh Elohim walking within the garden. You understand what I'm saying? He knew who the Creator was. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, we understand the principles that we shared with you the last lecture, to reason why that Moses could not see the face, you see what I'm saying, of the Creator and live. But at the same time, see, Joshua, the son of Nun, and Moses went up into this mountain. Right. And I guess obviously he's seen his face because he didn't return.
There you go.
And that's how he was able to recognize him here. See?
Right.
And bear witness. You understand what I'm saying? And right here, where are they? Upon a mountain.
Yes.
See? So we're showing you that upon these mountaintops, you understand what I'm saying? That after this was established here within the wilderness, they took this tabernacle and they set it here upon this mountain.
Yes.
Because this tabernacle, see, is a witness of this man. But we're showing you how that when this man was formed out of the dust of the ground, and we're saying the dust of the ground because it was from the things that came up out of the land of Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? Which we're saying is the dust of the ground, which formulated this. Okay? So we're using principles to show forth. And so therefore that this man, see, from the substance, you understand what I'm saying? See? Resurrected right up here, just like this man did from the mountain. See? These are all the same principles. Yes, Elder?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That is, I mean, you know what? You said a mouthful there.
Yeah.
You know, because when you think about it right there, where you're talking about, when they brought the things that they brought up in order to build that tabernacle. Now, see, after the tabernacle was finished, remember that cloud entered in?
Yes, ma'am.
And no man could enter
in
after it was finished.
That's right.
And no man could enter in. And then while you were talking about that, and see when Moses came down that third time.
Yes, ma'am.
Now look, remember on the Day of Atonement when that high priest went up into the most holy place?
Yes.
And the Shekinah flashed.
Hold on, let me show the viewers what Elder is talking about. So now she is talking about how that this high priest right here, he enters in.
Right.
Okay.
And
This is
so
the
after
first
that third trip, then he
Mhm.
saw the flash of the Shekinah
You
to
see
let
that
him
right
know,
there?
see
That's
that,
that's that
Mhm.
all-seeing eye that you're seeing right there is the Shekinah that she was talking about. I'm gonna try
yeah,
to show our viewers what you're talking about, Elder, so that they can get a clear understanding. So
exactly.
this is what she's talking about pertaining to the Shekinah after the high priest does his function, and this is his third trip. Go ahead, Elder. I'm being
Right,
your
exactly. Like, in other words, when you see that, do you understand how Moses had to do that first
yes.
before you could see that? And so that's why his face shone when he came down.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right.
That's why his
Yeah.
face was shining. What else are you going to have that would alert you to what that would look like?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. See, and we had to show forth, see how that gold was a representation of eternity.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, when the man's face shone, it showed him how that he was in the day of eternity when he was receiving the vision and revelation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
So
Moses
therefore, it had to be a physical manifestation of what was
right.
manifesting within the spirit. That we have always said that.
Exactly, Doc.
See?
And it's just, it was, as you were going through there, that's what Yahweh was just showing me about that thing.
That's right,
That's
Elder.
that is the only way that you
Mm-hmm.
can understand what that pointed to.
That's right. That's right.
Was
See?
that Moses' face shining when he came down? And no, they couldn't look upon it. Why?
No,
Because remember, they never, the children of Israel never saw the high priest's garments.
that's right. Never. Never.
No.
They never saw the high priest's garments.
Never.
So
So
he's gonna have to cover his face because they could not look up on that.
no. That's why he changed his garments before he came down
Exactly.
to do the low priest officiation. See?
Exactly.
And see, and
Exactly.
we understand that he had to get dressed here because when he went through that veil, that was being translated into the kingdom.
That's it. That's
Just
it.
like what was manifesting right up here.
That's it.
See?
That's it. And
And
so
see,
that
go ahead.
light of understanding, that light of revelation was that flash of that Shekinah that the high priest saw. And Moses had to see all of that first. That again pointing to the fact that he showed his ways unto Moses and his acts unto the children of Israel.
Say it
And
again.
how long does it take to walk through a veil?
Hmm.
Hey, just like you said, walking into another room.
It's like you crossing a threshold. It's just a threshold.
That's right.
Does it take like hours to walk through a veil, or
It can take years to
It
walk.
depends. It depends on what the veil is.
That's it.
Because we
Mhm.
have to understand that this was a veil,
Yep.
and it took them all night to walk through this veil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll
And
try
now
to get the principle of we'll all be changed in the twinkling of an
There
eye.
you go.
Oh yes, well that's very good, Doc. You understand what I'm saying? Because it doesn't really take that long if we're talking about these veils. So that's why I asked you. It depends on
What
what
veil
veil,
are you talking about?
on what
Yeah.
veil you're
Yeah.
talking about,
Okay.
Doc.
Oh,
See,
yep. Okay, you covered it. Yep.
see.
That,
Mhm.
I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, because you know what? We've been walking we've been walking through this veil that we're in. How many years we've been on the earth?
That's right.
You know?
That's
And I
right.
tell you, we ain't got through it yet.
Oh no, haven't, and there's more to come. And see this is why, Elder, we had First Chronicles, the 29th chapter read. See,
Oh yeah, right.
because see, everything that had manifested, see right here, see with
Uh-huh.
Moses, when he had dedicated everything pertaining to the things that was being, when this tabernacle was being made, and how
Uh-huh.
that the children of Israel had made a free will offering
Right.
from the substance, you see what I'm saying, of Egypt, to be able to prepare this.
Right.
So
Right.
therefore, what we did was we picked up, see, the 29th chapter of Chronicles, because the
Mhm.
same thing that happened here happened up here with King David. See?
Exactly. I see it.
And
I'm
see,
looking right at it.
the children of Israel had made a free will offering. You understand what I'm saying? To be able to make this particular tabernacle. See?
Yeah,
And so, you know, we wanted to tell you this time what we had read, so you won't miss it if we jump up there and started to snap some principles, and you say, no, go back and get that and do that some justice. We wanted to share with you, Elder, that we did.
Yes.
And then we wanted to share with you the reason why that we had that read was because Dr. Johnson had brought up an issue that was I thought it was a very, very good issue, because he says that the majority of the time that when we are talking about our ages and dispensations chart, let me try to make his claim, what he was saying, of some validity, and let me share with the viewers what he was saying. If I could find the chart, boy, I tell you, I'll lose a chart in a minute. Okay, now here we are. Now, what Dr. Johnson was saying is that a lot of times that we do not ever get into the David covenant, okay?
Right.
And he says that the majority of the time that when we are talking about the things that were within the post-diluvian age and the third age, he says that it leaves us all the time manifested right here. And we can never cross over the River Jordan so that the children of Israel can get their inheritance, so that we can see how the prophecy is, you know, picking up the prophets and then getting into the birth and then the conception of Yahshua the Messiah. See,
exactly right.
And he says that it's a lot left out because we don't get into the kingship. And then not only do we don't get into the kingship and the David covenant, he says that we don't never get a chance to get into the prophets.
That's correct. You're absolutely right, Doc. You're absolutely right.
So what we have been doing is because of where we are and what Yahweh Elohim has been allowing us to be able to share, which is this part, pertaining to the Ishi. What we have been doing is that we have been picking up all the principles that have manifest here pertaining to it being the origin, and then showing forth how they've been manifesting right up here. Because what we have to do is that when we're picking up, see, the Davidic covenant, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, you cannot leave out the physical kingdom of Israel and the law of cardinal ordinances, because they are intertwined one through another, because we understand that when we went back, and we have to take our viewers back to show them what we're talking about. Because see, this is very important. The reason why that we are doing this like this is because that we understand that this principle right here. Oops, I'm sorry. Gotta tell me sometime, because sometimes I'm not, I think that you guys are right in here with me. So I think that I'm showing you something and I'm showing myself and you guys can't see. Okay, so I'm talking about this principle right here, okay, that we understand that's manifesting right here when we had shared with the viewers that here there are no veils, okay? Right. So we understand that if there was no veils in the beginning, that when the Messiah had given up the ghost, see, right here, that the veil in the tabernacle rent in twain, because it was pertaining to the tabernacle in the more perfect greater tabernacle, which goes all the way back here. See?
Exactly.
So when we picking up this principle that's manifesting right here, it's taking us back to show forth how that when we're picking up the things that's pertaining to David, see, and we're looking at it, that see that this veil, see, really is not there, because the same thing that manifests in the holy place got to manifest within the most holy place.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? And we understand, see, that well, you know, when we're looking at the Ark of the Covenant there, we're showing forth how it is really rent in twain. And then we're showing forth how the children of Israel was coming to and through the divided waters of the Red Sea. That's why the founder left that there and left that to show you how that is rent in twain. See, right there, going all the way through one trip. See, the truth, the way, and the life. See, just like how we've been showing you on the pattern and plan of salvation chart here. Right here. See?
Yes.
So now what we're doing is that when we're picking up these two, the number 4 and the number 5, we're just showing you how that everything that happened within the wilderness were the same things that happened up here in the most holy place. The only difference is that the children of Israel is not wandering, you understand what I'm saying, for 40 years, because they went through a 40-year conquest, see, up here, when right before they received their inheritance.
Right.
So therefore, the 40 principle, you understand what I'm saying, that manifested out here, manifested within the beginning You understand what I'm saying? Before, see, they have received their inheritance and then the establishment of this. See, right
Exactly.
here. Okay.
Okay.
So now what we're showing you was that now if this is the man, and we understand that that this is the temple, that the temple is a manifestation of the Garden of Eden. Okay? Because we understand that everything that manifested in here was placed in here. So this is just like Yahweh Elohim taking the man and placing him within the garden. See?
That's it.
And then when he put the man within the garden, that's when the woman was created. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So therefore, we pick up the same principles, seeing how it is manifesting with the physical structures that Yahweh Elohim had man to build, which was what? 3 structures, 1, 2, 3, okay, to coincide with the 3 phenomenal days that happened within the realm of eternity, up until the first day of creation. See? And then it bears witness pertaining to the things that had manifested on the 3rd day of creation, because when we come here and look at what the 3rd day of creation, see, is talking about, we understand that when we see the trees, okay, manifesting within the vegetation, that is manifesting the structure of the tabernacle pattern. See, that is manifesting within the wilderness of Sinai. See,
Exactly.
you have to have something to show forth the structure. And so therefore it was made out of what? Pillars, boards, and staves.
And bars.
Where would you get that from? From the 3rd day of creation.
That's it.
See? And you have to understand that when the children of Israel, they left Egypt, they had to have them kneading boards on their back. What do you think they used to make these pillars out of? Come on now. They was out there within the wilderness. See? Everything was self-contained. Okay? So now you have to understand that when they took all the items, see, that was manifesting right up here, see, on Mount Zion, and took it over here to Mount Moriah, that's a man, just like how we understand that that's Adam right there on that mountain.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Coming forth out of that mountain, just like how we showed you, that's manifesting here. Same thing.
And that's
Same thing.
That's beautiful, because that same principle, like you said, is showing forth with Solomon and his wives.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
I see it clearly. Oh, yes, indeed.
See, that's right. See, so now all we're doing is showing you the reestablishment, see, of the kingdom of the children of Israel manifest right out here with the law of the ordinances of the children of Israel based upon the apothecary that manifested right here. See? So this is why that we had that for our scripture reading to show forth. And it said all the people were joyous and they were happy. You understand what I'm saying? See? So go ahead and continue where you were, Dr. Johnson.
Okay. Yahweh Elohim goes on to refresh Moses' memory that he had recounted in the 1st chapter of Genesis that, and Elohim said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness."
Okay,
but he had failed to say what.
Let's get that right here. This is
Genesis 1:26.
Right, let me focus in, because this plate here is a very, very good plate. See, I want to zoom in on it because it has a lot of good things in this little plate right here that we want our viewers to be able to see so that they can understand how wondrously and fearfully made they are.
Yes. Yes,
See?
indeed.
Right here. Okay. Now, Dr. Johnson, please reiterate yourself, please, and read that again, because we just want our viewers really to be able to see this right here, to show forth how that man is made in the image and likeness of Yahweh Elohim, and how that we have Yahweh Elohim Yahshua here to show forth how man is made spirit, soul, and body. Okay. Right. In the threefold makeup, and it's based upon showing forth the unity of the spirit, showing forth the witnesses of what man was made, pertaining to the things that we were talking about when we were talking about plate 36. Okay. All right, and that's the blood, water, spirit plate. Okay.
Right.
All right, go ahead, Doc.
Yahweh Elohim goes on to refresh Moses' memory that he had recounted in the 1st chapter of Genesis that, and Elohim said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." But he had failed to say what the man was made from. So he brings to his remembrance that he had formed man of the dust of the ground. Genesis 2 and 4, Holy Name Bible. Now, all the time that Yahweh Elohim is rewriting the 10 Commandment law and rehearsing with Moses the whole 6 days of the creation, Adam is still resting in the Garden of Eden.
That's right.
However, after the above things are done, which took a total of 7 days for Yahweh Elohim to show and tell Moses, then the Creator turns Moses' attention back to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And this is the point which the devil enters the Garden of Eden and seduces the woman. And Moses sees Yahweh Elohim drive the man Adam out of the Garden of Eden, and the woman followed him out. After the 7 days of Moses' third trip in the Mount of Sinai. Therefore, if we add the 33 days of Adam's stay in the Garden of Eden during Moses' second trip in the Mount, and the 7 days of Adam's stay in the garden during Moses' third trip into the Mount, we get a total of 40 days that Adam stayed in the Garden of Eden according to Moses' vision. See the diagram in the center fold. And this is the only true answer as to how one arrives at a 40 on the first plate of the elementary chart. One might ask the necessary question of what was Moses doing during the remaining 33 days of his third trip in the Mount. Well, he was seeing the generations of the flesh that came forth of Adam and Eve after they had been cast out of the Garden of Eden.
Stop right
And
there. Stop right there. See? Stop right there. So now, see, that takes us here. Okay? Just what he was talking about. And then that gives us the history. See, all the way from here when it was talking about how it showed forth how the man and woman came up out of the garden. And then we picked up the things that happened with Noah. Okay. And then it's showing forth how that after we picked up the things that manifest with Noah, that we pick up the Melchizedek priesthood and the Abrahamic promise that is manifesting right here. Okay. And we shared with you that all the things that we talked about, that we got this little thin line right here. And we showed you how this little thin line says a whole lot. Okay. And then we showed forth how that Moses is seeing his birth and everything manifests. And then all these things showing forth all the way to where is where he is now. Okay. Now he had to come back and see all these things because now he's picking up all the partridges and all the lies and characters that had manifested from the man in this world and then cross over right here. So everything that it is talking about is manifesting within this little line right here, okay? Because this is the promise that it is talking about that had manifested right here, which is we call it the Melchizedek priesthood, and the promise that happened 430 years before this manifested, or 430 years before the law.
That's it.
Okay, so he had to go back and see all of these things, okay? And when he's seen them, this is the reason why that when Moses, came to the burning bush, to where we go back to the original origin or the original manifestation of Elohim before he showed him the image and likeness of what man was made out of.
Right.
See, before Elohim fulfilled the principle of manifesting as an angelic creature. See, Moses bowed his head when Elohim said that I am the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But what he said to Moses was that I am the Elohim of your fathers. See? So therefore, out of all the genealogies of what he heard, of his forefathers, when he was down here in Egypt, Yahweh Elohim had brought to his attention that he was the El, or the God of his forefathers, before Moses came down and up here and seeing all the genealogies of where we are now. See?
That's right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Doc.
And okay, after Adam and Eve had been cast out of the Garden of Eden and had begun to know one another physically so, Moses thus sees 2,513 years of history repeated before his eyes in the vision. He sees all the patriarchs born out of the womb, live their entire lives, give off progeny, and die.
Now stop.
And other generations.
Stop right there. Now, that goes back, to this little dot that we was talking about right there. Okay, here, and then Elder told you here, all right?
Yeah.
Now that dot right there, which we had set up and shared with you, that is the dot or blot to show forth how that Eve was a widow, is also manifesting the same principle of a womb. Because it's showing forth, see, from out of the ground, see how man was formed. You understand what I'm saying? And it's picking up all the genealogies of man. Now, the only way that I can explain this to you is because how this was a sunrise, and then we show forth how when he's coming out of the garden, this is the sunset. Okay? And so therefore we show how that when the Messiah went through his death, burial, and resurrection, how the things that had manifested with the sun here. Okay? So what this is showing forth, see, is how that every man that was born into the world had to go back, okay, and make a round trip to Virgin Mother Earth. Okay, this is the words that I'm trying to use to sum up these things. Okay, so show forth how man came from a hole and he's going back into a hole.
That's right.
So therefore, it's showing forth all these genealogies. Okay, from a man coming forth out of a womb and then going back into a tomb. Okay, so this is what Moses is seeing at this particular time. All right, and he is bearing witness of all these things, and based upon all the principles that are manifesting, you understand what I'm saying? That they're leading all the way up, see, unto this testimony or the prophecy of the Messiah getting ready to come in and manifest the 4,000 years of history or prophecy based upon the 5 books that Moses had written in the beginning. Okay, so this is the importance of these things. The reason why it is showing forth the 25:13, which is going to give you a 7-day account to make it a 25:20. Because that 25:20 is showing forth how we have, see, right here on the vision. I can move it. I could just probably just, oh yeah, right here. See?
Yeah.
Right here.
Right there.
It's
Right
showing.
there.
See? The 25:20 years of history of the partridges born out of the womb to his own birth and death. Right here. See? So that's very, very significant because see, when Moses sees that, this is how this was made. Excuse me, I'm just trying to look for it. Give me a second. Here we go, right here. Oh, right here. Right here. Oops. Here's your 25:20 right here. Oops. There you go. And this is the book of life of everybody being born from Adam up to the birth of Yahshua the Messiah right here.
Right.
This is your history or your 25:20 that it is talking about right here. And we wanted to show you that this is the origin of it based upon how Yahweh Elohim had made man in his own image and likeness. And then when we go up just a little bit, see, and we're showing you how that the spirit of Elohim, see, is entered into the man, that this is the seed of all the genealogies right here. Okay, right here. That's the seed. See, right there, entered into the man. See. So this is the importance of that. And we go back and we show forth that. Okay, so this is showing forth how this seed is manifesting 25:20, okay, years. All right, all the way up into the birth of the Messiah. And Moses seen all of these come in and even seen the birth of the Messiah. See? Go ahead, Doc, and read the last little part.
Okay. And Moses thus sees 13 years of history repeated before his eyes in the vision. He sees all the patriarchs born out of the womb, live their entire lives, gives off progeny and die, and other generations follow, right on down to the time of his own birth, which he witnesses in the vision when he came forth from Amram and Jochebed. Thus, we have given a true and precise account of how long Adam stayed in the Garden of Eden, but one might ask, how was this fulfilled by Yahshua the Messiah? We already have shown on several other plates of the elementary chart how that Yahshua the Messiah fulfilled the 40 in the holy place of the pattern but for precise fulfillment using his time in the Garden of Eden. One has to remember his words to his disciples when he went into the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. The Garden of Gethsemane is the fulfillment of the Garden of Eden. He said to them, "What could ye not watch with me 1 hour?"
No.
This 1 hour amounts roughly to 40 years or days when we use the scale of time with Yahweh. Matthew 26:40, Mark 14:37. 1 day, 24 hours equals 1,000 years. 1 hour equals 41 years.
Right. So therefore, based upon what Doc is talking about, see, we want to give you the chart or diagram of what he's talking about, just to show you, see, what he is talking about, to show you how that 1 day is 24 hours equals 1,000 years, and how that 1 hour equals 41 years. Okay? So that you can understand based upon when we was talking about that 1,000 years, okay? See? And show forth how that the characters, see, that are within the scriptures have to manifest the same principles as the Messiah when he comes down to fulfill this 1,000 years. Okay? So now we understand the reason why that King David and King Solomon had offered up sacrifices that could not be numbered or told, and then Solomon had to manifest himself 1,000 years before the Messiah had came in. You understand what I'm saying? See?
Yep.
Yeah.
See? All these things have to re-manifest themselves. You understand what I'm saying? All the way down. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, you know, when we look at these things, you understand what I'm saying? It shows forth the overturning and overturning. Okay? And then the beauty thing about it is that the same thing that had manifested, see, you know, with Jerusalem, see, that manifested here, see, within the apothecary, see, we're just going right up here, seeing the same things manifest, right up here. See? But what we have been taught, see, based upon what Yahweh Elohim has been revealing to the viewers, is that after the children of Israel had got right up here, and see, we've seen them principles, see, that manifested with the tabernacle and the temple, there's the same principles that manifested with the man. See, so now we see how that the things that are made within the creation is following the dictations, the dictatorship of what happened with the first man, along with everything within the creation following along with the dictates of what happened with the first man, even the man himself.
Exactly.
How about that?
And that's beautiful, Doc. That's beautiful.
Yes,
because according to the pattern, every time you get up there, see, to the top, you got to come down again.
Got to come down again. See,
you got to come down again. That's those circles in operation above it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what those circles are signifying right there.
That's right.
And another beautiful thing, Doc, as we've been going through this, and we've been looking at the 40 plate chart. Don't you know that if we didn't have the bottom of this chart displayed, as most 40 plate charts don't have the bottom part?
That's right.
You cannot understand or even approach or see. You see, this bottom part was him showing his ways unto Moses. Everything above that are his acts.
That's right. That's right. Now we want to show you what Elder is talking about. Right? Now, these are the boxes, okay, that's explaining everything that's taking place up above. Because this is the explanation, see, of the ways or the things that are manifesting based upon what's is coming up out of the book or Yahweh Elohim. You understand what I'm saying? See? So without this, you wouldn't be able to understand the things that are taking place up here based upon the way that we have been breaking it down. Because everything that we have been breaking down to you, the origin of it, of how it consists up here, is right down here.
Exactly.
We're not telling you nothing new. All of it is right down here.
That's it.
But what you have to do is be able to decipher it.
That's it. But most 40 plate charts don't have that attached to it. And
I
that's
have been
why
to a lot of schools that don't have it, Elder.
I know that. I know you have, Doc. I know you have because again, unless you understand, that's why. How else are you gonna understand when he says he showed his ways unto Moses and his acts unto the children of Israel?
Mm-hmm.
You know, even at the bottom of our elementary chart,
Right.
all of our elementary charts don't have that piece on the bottom,
That's right.
and you just
Right.
need to know that
That's right.
Mhm.
if you're gonna understand his ways.
That's right.
You know, if you're
I
gonna
like
understand how
when
you
you keep bringing that up. That because Yahweh says, "My ways aren't your ways," but He shows His ways unto us.
that's
That's
right.
right. That's right. And
That's
my thoughts
right.
are not your
Doctor.
thoughts.
But yet
That's
we
right.
follow His ways and we don't know it.
That's it.
That's it.
Unless you're made aware. And see, that's why I said, see, that's why the Messiah was saying to the disciples all the time that he walked with them. Like, say, in other words, when he was in the upper room, he says, you don't know what I'm doing now, but not many days hence, you're going to know. Well, Peter
Mm-hmm.
knew he was washing his feet,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't understand what that pointed to.
That's right.
And that's
Yeah.
what Joe used to continually ask, say, what does it point to?
Mm-hmm.
How
Mm-hmm.
many times did we hear, what does it point to?
That was a lot. We heard that a lot because she wanted to make absolutely sure that we was paying attention and that we was learning something.
Do you realize that is the out that do you realize that that's why we're looking at what we're looking at now?
That's
Because
right.
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing what it points to.
Now, if
Exactly.
anybody wants to know why Peter and all the disciples didn't know what Joshua was doing, because there was a famine during that time of, the priests were supposed to be teaching the Israelites, all of the ordinances of Yahweh, but they haven't for years after the servitude. So that's why Joshua had to teach them all again.
Again and again and again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Again and
that,
again and
and
again.
that's why he said that you guys break the laws of Yahweh by your traditions. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's why he
Yes,
made that statement.
exactly.
Because
Exactly.
they had broken all of the laws of Yahweh because of the reestablishment of their traditions, with which confused the Israelites at that particular time. See,
Right. And
and
and that's why at this stage of the game, Doc, we do not have permission to partake of man's traditions.
right,
We don't have permission to do that.
that's right,
Mm-hmm.
that's right,
Mm-mm.
that's
That's
right,
why I said, you gotta, that's why you gotta put that aside. We don't have permission to do that anymore.
that's right.
Now that we know and understand, we don't have permission to partake. See, that would be like falling backward.
Mm-hmm. Or returning to your vomit.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to do that.
Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, we don't.
Oh, Doc, this has been so wonderful. Oh, this has just been just so wonderful. And it's just amazing as we're sitting here and you're going through those charts, the things that Yahweh just shows us as we go along.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's just phenomenal. It's just really beautiful, and I just be so grateful, and I'm really learning how to calm down because I be ready to come up out of my skin sometimes. It's really hard to contain this, and because it's so
Good.
beautiful. It's so beautiful, and you just be like, oh, you know, you just, I don't know, you want to pop because you just want to share it with everyone. But
Mm-hmm.
like it says, many are called, few are chosen,
That's
and
it.
you can't cast your pearls, you know what I'm saying, amongst the swine.
No, you can't.
I
You
mean,
cannot.
but see, this is not what we're doing. See,
No,
because,
no.
because see, what we're doing is, like we said, we already know what we're doing.
Yes.
So we don't have to continue to keep going over and over, you know what I'm saying, and saying what we're doing. All we're doing is basically honoring Yahweh. And then what we're doing is making a statement, see, based upon what the founder said, see, in this book right here. See,
That's it.
okay,
That's
that
it.
that the things that we are talking about, see, the Bible scholars don't know, they don't
Uh-uh.
know. Okay,
Uh-uh.
see, and the majority of the Bible scholars that's within the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research don't know.
They don't
See,
know. They
because
don't.
because it has to manifest what Yahshua said within the scriptures. See, when he said that he gave it unto babes.
That's
Okay.
it.
You know,
And
you have to
again, if he doesn't reveal it to you, there's just no way you can see it.
exactly.
You just can't. I mean, you just can't. And again, just like we're talking about the bottom part of this 40 plate chart.
Mhm.
Look, do you realize that people don't really know? They don't even understand that this exists.
Yeah, that's true. They be like,
They
where
don't
is
know
that
it
at?
exists.
That's right.
They
That's
really don't. They don't because they haven't been shown that.
that's right.
And so we've been blessed. Just like we said, we looked at that uh that plate up there on that elementary chart, and you saw
Mhm.
Adam and Eve coming out of the garden. How many people
Oh,
have seen
yes.
that? And
Wow.
didn't we just get through going through what Yahweh was showing them going down through the ages and dispensations?
Right.
They saw it first,
That's right.
Mhm.
and Moses saw them see that. That's why it's in that circle like that.
That's right. That's right.
He
That's right.
said, because you have done this, this is what's gonna happen.
That's right. That's right. And Yahweh has never not revealed the thing unto his servants
Nope.
or his sons. See, you
Nope.
know. And so, oh, I wanted to say this too while I was thinking about it. When we was revealing the things pertaining to Adam and Eve coming up out of the garden, and we was talking about the white garments.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wanted to state that when we shared with you, when you're looking at the full garments of the men, they are representing the sons of Elohim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now we're showing you what we showed you when we showed you Yahshua the Messiah on the cross, and then we showed you Adam coming out of the Garden of Eden, and it is showing you how Yahweh had made skins and clothed them. Okay, now you're looking at what you are looking at is pertaining to Elder. I need you again. You remember the lesson that you taught me about the breeches.
Oh
I'm saying
yes.
like that. See,
Are
and I'm
you
talking
reading? Are
about
you in my head?
yes, and
Are you
I'm talking about the high priest breeches because
the
the high
linen?
priest had to have special breeches or underwear that he had to put on before he had put on his arraignment to
Yes,
function on the Day of Atonement. Okay,
exactly.
Mhm.
so we're trying to show you with these principles because he is talking of if the scriptures is talking about something specific.
That's right.
When it's talking about the breeches of the high priest, it is showing forth that that is the same manifestation pertaining to Adam coming out of the garden and the
Yes,
second Adam on the cross. Okay.
absolutely.
So I wanted to reiterate these things so that you can understand so that you won't be confused based upon the principle when we was talking about the white and the different colors of what individuals have on when they are within the vision. Okay. And I
Mhm.
would like to also state that when you are looking at Cain,
Mm-hmm.
and he has on those garments,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and they are dirty, is representing the same principle of him not being attractive, but it's also a representation of him being a natural brute beast.
That's
And
it.
the same
Mhm.
principles happen when you pick up the things pertaining to Nimrod, and then when you pick up pertaining to Esau being a man of the field. You still
Right.
pick those same principles when you looking at Cain with those garments that he have on. And let me show you what I'm talking about so that you will be clear on what I'm saying to you. Because see, we don't want you to misunderstand the principles and things that we're talking about. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh boy, where we at? Let me see.
Plate 16.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, 16 right here. When we're looking at what Cain has on,
Uh-huh.
I'm picking up those principles right there, right here. See,
Mm-hmm.
when you're looking at his garments right there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we come right here when he's killing his brother to
Yep.
show you what we're talking about, to show you how he's a beast of the field or a natural brute beast when you're looking at his garments and they're like that. Okay. So we just
Exactly.
wanted to show you that, and then it's pertaining to where it's revealing some of his flesh or his body, because you don't see that nowhere else on nobody else until you come here in the beginning and you get into the end. Okay. And that's with Yahshua the Messiah. So I just wanted to go back and reiterate these things so that you can have a clear understanding on what I'm talking about pertaining to when I say when you're looking at white, because I don't want you to say, well, were all these people who were sons of Elohim fair looking individuals too? You understand what I'm saying? Well, it's like this too. That will take you back unto the laws within the apothecary that explains to you how that the high priest had to look. Okay.
That's right.
Because the high priest couldn't be an ugly man. So therefore, if you want to say that all the sons of Elohim were handsome or fair men, then you can properly say that, because we can go within the scriptures to help bring that out to dictate that. Okay.
Exactly. And they had to be perfect men.
Yes.
They couldn't have when he talk about spot and blemish, they had to be able to bear offspring.
Right. And so
they therefore have no problem. They said they have no problem in the stones.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's right. So, and again, look, stay out of my head, elder. So now, see, that goes back.
You just confirmed it.
See, that goes back here to show you here that when you're looking at the man within the cloud, what color is the cloud?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's to show forth, you understand what I'm saying, that, you know, that our creator, you understand what I'm saying? He's the first man. Come on, he had to be handsome. He wasn't going to be nothing ugly, making nothing ugly, because he don't like ugly. Oh, okay. You understand? So therefore, that's how you see the man within the cloud. So now another thing and a principle that we want to show you is this, and it's very important because Elder had brought this up. We want to show you something so you can understand something. And this is for those that make it home. Okay. Yeah. When you're looking at this right here, okay. All right. You're looking at a man. All right. But when you're looking at this man and you notice that he doesn't have any genitalia, you understand what I'm saying? Right. It's to show forth that his appearance is as a eunuch.
That's it.
Okay. But he is proliferous. You understand what I'm saying? Able to produce offspring. Okay. Yes. So now we're showing you that he doesn't have any male genitalia is because how he produces offspring is by the overshadowing.
There you go.
Okay. So that when we go home and you see a man or you see men and they don't have any of this down here, it's because this is how we look, okay, in the spirit. And the same is going to manifest with the women. They're not going to have none of this neither.
There you go.
You understand what I'm saying? But one thing is because they are female, they will have law and the prophets.
There you go.
That will go back to show you how that when you look at some of the tribes of in Africa or some of the Indian tribes, or when you're going back to you know, places that are in the jungles and things of that particular nature.
They call them primitive.
Yes, primitive. Thank you very much, Doctor. You go back to primitive living, that the only thing that they cover up is this part.
That's it.
You understand what I'm saying? Because they feed their children from here, and it's not, you know what I'm saying, unlikely that you'll see a woman even in the States, you understand what I'm saying, breastfeeding their child in public.
That's it.
Okay, because the breast is not really considered, you know, a genitalia that is offensive. You understand what I'm saying, pertaining to when you're coming, you know what I mean, to where you know life is being brought forth. Okay, so we wanted to show forth that this, when you're looking at this, okay, that the appearance of it being a eunuch, you understand what I'm saying, it is not. But this is to show forth how that when you are looking at the Creator, all right, and you're looking at spirit, you understand what I'm saying? It does not have anything that's pertaining to the flesh, like what you understand how this is the tabernacle of man. See? That's right. And this is the archetype temple of Yahweh Elohim. All right. So I just wanted to share something with you so that when you know, when we in the spirit, or when we go back and we in the spirit, he said, look at that man, but how come that man looks funny? He don't have what a man's supposed to have. Well, this is what a man's really supposed to look like.
That's right. That's right.
See, all that other stuff that we got now that, you know, understand what I'm saying, to where we have to wear the clothes that we wear, that's not a part of the true makeup of how we were created. Okay. Exactly. So I just wanted to share that with you. And when the man was created, this is how he was created. Okay. He was created a living soul. Okay. And I just wanted to share that with you.
And Doc, it's really interesting because right now I am studying the Aboriginal and the native peoples of the world.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So
I'm
that
telling
so
you, that's
so
what
so
I'm
you
doing.
know, this is just a witness, and I had no idea
Hmm.
of what Yahweh Elohim was showing. You understand what I'm saying? You know, are
Oh,
teaching himself in you. You
that's
understand what I'm
right.
saying? And for him to be able to give you a witness based upon some of the things that we have been trying to share, with the world. How about that?
I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you. And I mean, it's really beautiful when you're looking at the Aboriginal, the people of like say Australia, the Yanomamo people,
Hmm.
and even here in the United States, the Native American people.
That's right.
I'm on
Yep.
channel 60 every morning,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
looking at the and again, it's called the First Nation experience, and it
Mm.
is showing you all of the Native people of the United States, and I had to start here to work backward.
Wow. That's
And
fascinating.
the first Aboriginal people that I studied were once again the Yanomamo people of Australia,
Wow.
and they're the people that we one of the professors from the University of California went because I was taking a class in philosophy, and so that's how I got to that.
Mhm.
But interestingly enough, these how and that's something else we'll look at as well, how some of those civilizations, they are, you have patriarchal and you have matriarchal society, and the way their lineage goes, some lineages go across, so you're in, like say, in other words, you are related to the person through the mother's lineage, like the Hebrews. The woman had to be Hebrew, you know, and you are related to, from the patriarchal, you're related down through the lineages. So
Mm.
that's a whole nother lecture in itself, Doc. But it
Mhm.
goes to show you Yahweh hasn't left anything out.
Nope.
He hasn't left anything out at all. Period.
Nothing.
Everybody is connected.
Right. Right. That's right. Everybody.
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 Everybody's connected.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. That's why we've been having the things that we've been having read to show forth that we all come from.
One.
Hey, that
See,
one,
one.
that I tell you, it's beautiful.
Yes.
And while we're at it, I was just looking at, you see how we were talking about those linen breeches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everything, the first thing the high priest puts on, his first garment is always white. His From his robes on,
That's
it
right.
is always white.
Always.
When
That's
he's in the
right.
court roundabout, you see that high priest, he's got on white.
That's right.
And
Mm-hmm.
it,
Even when he
it
did the
doesn't
blood.
get colored until it starts to go upward to the third heaven, which will show you Elohim. You see him without his clothes, but as he's walking through his creation, he's putting all those colors that are in that robe that high priest has got on.
That's
So
right.
he's
Mm-hmm.
decked at the end of this thing. You can see,
That's
you can see he's got on every color that's in the creation at the end, the sanctum of sanctorum.
That's right. And you
Mm-hmm.
notice, just like, look at just what you said. That was so beautiful. Because the high priest, he has to bathe in that brazen labor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has to bathe right there in that brazen labor and before Israel and everybody.
Yep.
See?
Yep.
To show forth how, you understand what I'm saying, that the man was naked in the beginning. You understand what I'm
Hey,
saying?
look.
See? He
Mm-hmm.
has to take a bath right there in that brazen labor and then put on his clothes. He has to put
Mhm.
on those white clothes that Elder
That's
was talking
that's it.
about.
Those
You understand
garments.
what I'm saying? Because right there, when he is manifested within the court roundabout, and it says that he has to be a perfect man, you
Yeah,
understand
huh?
what I'm saying? Handsome and everything.
That's it.
Israel has to see the perfection of him before
That's
he
right.
enters in. You understand what I'm saying? That
That's
there's no
right.
spot
Mm-hmm.
and no blemish in the
Right.
man.
That's
Okay?
it. And it's laid out right there in the scripture how that high priest got to look.
No spot and
Yep.
no blemish in the man
No.
because the man is manifested as that lamb. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? Slain from
That's
the
it.
foundation of the world. See?
Uh-huh.
And so therefore he is going through the same thing that you see that Adam manifested goes through. And then when he gets to the holy place, he's manifesting the thing with Father Abraham. You understand what I'm saying? And then he walks into the realm of eternity. You
And
understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
and I love it, because everywhere you see that lamb in these visions, then
Mhm.
it is wool white.
Hey, hey, and look at this. And look at this.
Oh, Dr. Johnson, I love your face. Tell Sister Monica I love her face too.
I just
Oh,
want
I
to
will.
I just wanted to do this before we leave. Let me do this. See, right here, when you were sitting there talking about that, and we go to this play right here, and you was talking about that come on now. There you go. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
See, right there.
Mhm.
that's it.
Right there.
Everywhere you see that lamb, that lamb is always you looking at white wool.
Oh yeah, right there. See, and I'm talking about we got to go right back there to the beginning. See, because see, when we do that and we go right there to the beginning, see, it makes it so easy and evident when we come here that we can understand how that Moses has to be around some sheep.
That's
Have
it.
to. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
And then
it.
his father-in-law was a high priest of Midian, huh?
That's right.
See,
Mhm.
same thing, same principle. See, had to be manifest right there.
Every
Okay.
time,
See.
everywhere you see it.
Mm-hmm. See.
If it changes up, it's gonna change the purpose, and his purpose don't change.
Exactly. See, and now we got to understand this. That see, now this is something too that we got to pick this up, Elder, while we here. Okay. While we here. All right. Before we sign out. Okay.
Okay.
Now, just like how we picked up the principles, okay, and we shared with you the principles of how that we got a minute. I'm gonna take my time. This is our show. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
just like how you see the principles, how we shared with you how that when you see Cain here,
Uh-huh.
see, we want to show you Cain's garments one more time,
Uh-huh.
how they are
Earth colored.
earth colored, okay,
Mm-hmm.
manifesting a natural brute beast, okay.
Right. Right.
Now, what happens is that when Moses fulfills this, when Moses comes up out of Egypt, he looks like a what? An Egyptian.
That's it.
And he's
Mhm.
Hebrew.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
And then when he gets out here, how Moses fulfills the principle of Cain is that he is looking like an Egyptian. And when Jethro's daughters came to this well, you understand what I'm saying, to water their sheep, you understand what I'm saying? That Moses ran away the other shepherds.
Right.
He didn't kill them, he ran them away, and he still
Right.
had that staff in his hand, and he was looking like an Egyptian.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So we have to go back and get these scriptures for you to show you that the same thing was applied, how the man Moses had to fulfill the same principles that had happened, see, back here, see, within the antediluvian age, because of where they are in location. Okay.
Right, because Yahweh was showing you he only had one man to carry forth what he had to carry forth.
That's right. That's right. So we have to go back and share these things with you. You understand what I'm saying? Because we understand that when Ruel's daughters went back and gave the report to their father, the reason why that they was back so early, they said an Egyptian had helped us. You understand what I'm saying? And they knew that he was an Egyptian because when Moses had to bathe with the other men, they seen he was circumcised, and only the high priest knew that he had the covenant, you understand what I'm saying, of the Hebrews.
Oh, yeah.
Because of where he was. And that's how his wife knew to circumcise their children when they came down here. And see, that's why his garments is that color. You understand? See, we're going to show you how everything, within the vision, it makes sense. See, and we're going to show it to you over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
See?
Because and you know his wife had to have a vision because in their culture they didn't circumcise.
That's right. That's
They
right.
did not circumcise. That's why she said, "Thou art a bloody
Bloody
man."
husband. A bloody husband.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's
And
right.
I'm telling, and that's another. Doc, see, once again, see, everything leads you to something else.
Oh yeah.
See,
Oh yeah.
because you have a negative and a positive principle appearing in the same place.
Yes, you
See,
do.
now when Cain killed his brother, and he ends up there, his is a total different reason that Moses leaves for killing his brother.
That's right.
See, I tell you.
And look what Yahweh told him. He says, your brother's going to come see you, and he's going to be glad to see you,
He's
to where you ain't
glad.
going, where Cain wasn't glad to see his brother. You understand what I'm saying? See?
Exactly. You got to just see. I tell you,
Yeah.
Yahweh always uses one man.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that amazing? Not a whole bunch of men.
That's
And
right.
the reason is so we can stay on that principle.
That's right. That's right. That's why our our perception and direction examination is very, very important.
Oh yeah.
And see, and that's why we use that perception and direction exam with those ologies. See, you can't go wrong.
That's right.
You
That's
can't
why
go
you got.
wrong.
That's why you got ologies and no isms in there.
That's right. They're all ologies and no isms. Exactly.
Ologies, no isms in there.
That's right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I'm just
Oh
lit.
yes. I am too. You know what I mean? I am too. You know, like I say, I done came up out my skin a whole bunch of times. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
Sometimes I have to check and make sure. I says, am I still here?
I'm
You know what I
telling you.
mean?
Oh yeah, look. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, my head. Ooh, my head is sometimes the side. I said, am I gonna be able to get from one room to the other without knocking my head off?
Yes, I
Ooh.
know exactly what you mean. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That just lets you know how infinite and how beautiful our Creator is,
oh yes,
and you know how
absolutely.
He blesses us. You know when we are truly sincere.
And if you just take the time, he will teach you like he promised us.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a living testimony of that this evening because, like I tell you, I don't prepare none of these things. He just says go this way and I go with it. But when I'm caught up and he shows me things, I'm obedient. Just like I was caught up the other day and he was showing me things and I had to call you, Elder, because I was so in the spirit. I knew the scripture, I just didn't know where to find them. I looked
Right,
everywhere.
exactly.
I knew where they were, what book it was
Uh-huh.
in, but I couldn't find it. And so sometimes you have to call your elders for help. You have to
Uh-huh.
call sometimes. So,
Exactly.
I be obedient when I'm caught up. And when he tells me, go look at something, go look at it, I go look at it. You know what I mean? When he says,
Yes.
go to the charts, go to the vision, I go look. When he
That's it.
tells me to go to a scripture, I go. You know
That's
what I mean? Especially if I'm able to do it. And if I can't find it, I got
When he
everybody.
calls, you must answer. This is why I
Right.
said, see, we can't put him on hold.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
As I said, see, once again, once you meet him, then you dare not.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
When he said do it, that's why you had to make that phone call. And I'm on my way out to do it, but that's when I
Yes.
had to stop and I had to find that.
Yes. And I told you that I had called Elder Seven.
Uh-huh.
I called her before I called you because
Yep.
that's script. Your site, she's scripture.
This
I
is
could,
it.
I mean, scripture. What she was saying, she just give me a second. And that's script. You know what I mean? That's how I say
That's
your
it.
vision, she's script. But then I had to call vision for script. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And I had to
it.
switch it up. And then you stopped out a minute and said, no, I gotta find that. And I was like, wow. And she was going out the door saying, I have an appointment. I gotta go, and I'm gonna find it for you when I get back.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, I was just
No,
like,
it's called right now.
I was, you saying phenomenal. I was saying to myself, I mean, my mouth was on the floor. I was like, wow, Father. I says, she doesn't even know that this was a recapitulation of what just happened and what one couldn't do, the other did do. And just what we just got through going over tonight. You know what I mean? I went through that physically, you know?
I know it.
I went through that physically.
I know
Yes,
that.
indeed. Well, I'm gonna end, you guys. We had
Yes.
another wonderful evening.
Oh, indeed.
Always
So,
is.
And I'll just be so grateful and edified, when we have when we get together and the Father just bless us, with the things, that He allows us to be able to see and for us to be able to go into the scriptures and to, bring it into fruition pertaining to His pattern,
You know, that's the joy, you know, that me myself have, and to be able to share it with, you know, loved ones and brethren, you know, real
Hallelujah.
brethren, you know, that's the
Mhm.
beauty of it. And you know,
Hallelujah.
the things that, you know, that we are doing and digging, like I say, we getting some of the deep things that really need to be brought up. And by the
Mm-hmm.
time, you know what I'm saying, our brethren find out and catch up, you know, where we are, is no telling where we'll be. You understand what I'm saying? We might be
Mhm.
on our next rotation going over this, you know what I'm saying, for the second or third time, getting other revelations that we didn't get the first time that, you know,
That's
that we
it.
went through this. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
I'm
So,
telling you.
you know, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you, because every time we get together, I see something else.
I know.
Mhm.
I just see
Hey,
something else.
that's right. And the same it be for myself. Do you
You
understand what
know.
I'm saying? Because see, you know what we're gonna start doing is that once, you know, the exam becomes a little bit more fruition for, you know, when we start going over things, you know,
Mhm.
and then we start going to, you know, the Ishi chart, and you know, we can go to the charts to where, you know, the principles can be seen a little bit more clear instead of
Mhm.
us revealing them to the viewers, and then we could just straight hit the principles, and then, you know, everybody kind of like be up to date, you know,
Mhm.
because that's just like,
Mhm.
you know, with what's behind me when we're looking at Elohim with the first day, the first
Oh,
dispensation that's right behind me. I mean,
yeah.
that's a lot within itself, you
Look.
know, but at the same time, when you're looking at it and you say, well, that's the operation and surgery, or the operation of Yahweh in man,
Hmm.
that's a real operation, because that operation and surgery that's manifesting right back there, you
That's it.
see how everything that manifested within the creation manifested within that man by that surgery right there.
Exactly.
Mhm.
How else are you gonna see it?
See,
But you
and
have
that
to. Yahweh got to show you.
that's right. You know, so that's why I say that, you know, we're trying to get these principles, you know, to the point to where they're really, really clear. So we
Mhm.
can really do some real preaching, you know what I mean, with the charts back there, and then be able to allow, you know, yourself and Dr. Johnson just to be able to preach on the principles of where we are, you know what I mean, that we are revealing to the viewers, so that, you know, we'll quote unquote be preaching in the volume of our Father when he was here with his understanding, you know what I'm
That's
saying, to
it.
the people. And then hopefully they will be having the understanding that, you know, he had, that we imparted. You understand what I'm saying? So that the
That
intercourse
was
Mhm.
will be,
that was and that was his intent.
yeah,
That
yeah,
this vision was as much for me, for you, as for me.
that's right.
Why
That's
would Yahweh
Mhm.
give him a vision to keep to himself?
right, right,
Yep.
right.
Otherwise, you could not. It's no way in the world that if Yahweh hadn't shown you something, those charts would be behind you like they are.
That is correct. That is,
Mhm.
And it's no way I could look at them and see exactly where you're going if Yahweh hadn't showed me something about it.
that's
I
right.
didn't come up with this on my own,
That's right.
but I can sure understand what to look. I can understand it, of course.
Hmm.
But Yahweh had to show it to me, and He showed it to me before I even understood what I was looking at.
Yes, right. Same with me.
Yeah.
And Dr. Johnson,
Mhm.
how diligent did Yahweh have me when I was making these charts?
Oh, very diligent.
I mean, was
You
there a
know.
day? Let me ask you a question. Was there a day that you see me not working on any one of these charts?
It was every day.
And see,
And
Doc, that now see, that's just proof positive of Yahweh never does anything without a witness, because He was right there in the house with you
right,
while
That's
you were
probably
doing
why
that.
Yahweh had me out of employment so I can be at home to witness that.
That's it. And
And
isn't
see,
it interesting that here we are together
mm-hmm.
on the same page?
that's right,
That's it.
that's right,
Yeah.
That's why.
right.
That's why they're just. That's why we have this number that we have gathered here.
That's right.
Yeah.
The perfect number, 4, 5, and 6.
Exactly. That's
Four,
that's.
5, 6.
There
See,
you go.
hey, and then it goes according to the perfect a sequential too. You
That's it.
understand what I'm saying?
Hey,
Everything,
Mm-hmm.
right along. But there
that's it.
wasn't a day, Elder, that I did not work on these charts, and I worked on them all day. You
Doc,
know,
I remember. I
all day.
remember.
Wasn't
You.
nothing that I
And you know what? Here's another thing. You weren't noisy.
right,
Huh.
right. That's right.
Just like the temple. You
Uh-huh.
weren't you weren't making the only thing I heard like was the little chinking of the glass. That's all I heard. I
That's
didn't hear
right.
the stroke of the paintbrush. You don't hear that.
No.
See, same principle. Just like the temple's being built, you don't hear the strokes of a paintbrush.
No.
That's the same that goes true with Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley, when him and his son and everybody that helped him do those charts. You didn't hear those charts being painted.
Nope. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
No.
But you had to have an eyewitness, and Dr. Johnson, you were an eyewitness.
Eyewitness. That's right. That's right.
You were an eyewitness.
You were too. Every time you came by, Elder, you know what I mean? We was going over scripture and stuff like that. You were too, you know? So
You know, but again, as I said, you're just looking and as I said, who knew that we were going to be gathered as we are now?
I didn't.
Going through this as we are. We didn't have any idea that we'd be gathered as we are now, with Yahweh among us.
Right.
And in us.
That's
and
right.
Through us.
That's
and all
right.
of that.
And everything else, you
Ever
know, in
present,
between.
right? Yeah.
That's right.
No,
You know,
you know,
a lot of question was people's like, well, where are you going to hang these charts up? Are you going to hang them up in class? You know, and I would be like, well, you know, I said, I don't know. I said, but I was just told to do them. I'm not worried about where I'm going to hang them or what I'm going to do with them. I was just told to do them. We worry about that when we get to it. You know?
They're hanging right where they're supposed to be hanging.
Exactly so.
Right now.
So. That's
just
right.
Like we hanging right where we supposed to be hanging.
That's right. That's right. And you know one thing else, Elder, that I wanted to say, that when they were on the floor, when I was drawing them and on the floor, I would ask Dr. Johnson to help me set them up. And when we would set them up, it would take on a whole different effect from when they were on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then when they were standing up, we was like this for hours, just looking at it. We like, yeah, we paint something else. We're like, yeah, I know, we just got caught up just looking.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was just like, wow. He said, man, it's different from when it's up, when it's laying down. I say, yeah. I said, because when it's standing up, it's alive. When it's laying down, it's sleep, I guess.
Right.
You know?
But just look, see how it started? It started off on the floor. You had to come from down there up.
That's right. Laying down. And I was laying on my face.
Right. Now, when you see a lot of folks, when they paint something, your canvas is standing up and you're standing up with your, but that's not how this happened.
That's right.
So he was showing you the process of the creation while you were doing it.
Wow. That's a revelation for me right there.
Indeed.
That's right. Wow.
Didn't the man come from the dust of the earth?
That's right. That's right. And I was laying down the whole time. I mean,
so this is taking
like Yahweh.
And now you're standing up, huh?
Look
at here. Tell me about it. And what are we talking about, Moses and John laying down tonight?
That's what we was talking about. That's right.
I'm telling you, Yahweh never does anything without a witness.
Never.
And I love bringing up that principle of quiet, because I like when in the 4th volume, when it talked about Joshua says, I go and prepare a place for you. You hear him preparing that place for you?
No way.
I just like bringing that principle up. I just love the simple and the.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
See, that's what it's called, that blessed quietness.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And that goes back.
Blessed quietness. That's why I said Yahweh is in his holy temple. Let the whole earth be silent before him.
That's right. That's right.
Hosea. Oh yeah, I tell you.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
See, you know, Doctor. Let's go to Romans, the 16th chapter.
Okay. Let me read.
Yeah, we'll get all caught up to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Yahshua the Messiah according to the revelation of the mystery which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifested, and by the scriptures of the prophets according to the commandment of the everlasting Elohim made known to all nations for the obedience of faith. To Yahweh only wise be glory through Yahshua the Messiah forever. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Oh yeah, that oh yeah. We just went through a whole bunch of stuff tonight.
Oh yeah. You know, and we got a lot more, you know, to continue to cover, because we Dr. Johnson really kind of gave me a lot to think about, you know, and I know that when I do my opening, that, you know, with the things that he gave me to think about is allowing me to be able to think and orchestrate what do you call that when we open up class? A moderation of my
Uh-huh.
own pertaining
Uh-huh.
to what we've been going over.
Right.
And it kind of put one in my mind with kind of like with what I already have. So I'm
Mhm.
going to continue to work on it until I perfect it. And then once I perfect it, kind of like similar to the moderation of the founder, then I will memorize it to where I won't have to have my face buried in a book every time that I start one of our sessions, and
Yeah.
that'll just be because like I said, what he said, and then what I mean, what we're doing right now, we're picking up where our father left off, because we really truly don't know what's going to become of our school system, our school period, or even if they allow us to go back into a building based upon this
Exactly.
pandemic. So,
Exactly.
with that being said, we are just have something to establish our professionalism
Mhm.
based upon what our founder have done. You understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And then that's not to come in conflict of interest with our school,
Uh-uh.
with copyright infringements and things of
Mm-mm.
that particular nature. It'll just
No.
be something just on the truth basis, just on another avenue to preach the gospel in a opening setting like how we're having this evening. So
Yeah, and it's like when I first came into this school, I didn't know what how we were gonna get to where we are now.
mm,
But if you remember, I said these classes started out in cottages,
you said
and
it.
that's where they're going back. Here we are,
You said it.
right?
You you've been saying that, and for the record, for over 10 years.
Hey,
You've been saying that for over 10 years, and I'm
and
talking about
as a
us
matter of
being
fact,
in class.
right,
I'm talking
right.
about you've been making that statement for a very, very
Oh
long
yeah,
time.
38
And
years.
now it's manifesting.
That's it. And I said, wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And based on how he did it too, that was amazing.
That's look.
See? And I believe your last testimony right before the school shut down, you said Yahweh's going to shut this down.
Oh yeah.
You said it, and you said it's going to go right back, into college meetings. And then that was
Mhm.
like, hey, next thing you know, we was having one or more classes.
This is
Everybody
it.
was at home.
This is it. And we had said oftentimes, people were saying, "Ooh, if I didn't have somewhere to go, if I couldn't go." Well, Yahweh sent you home from where you came.
That's like Yahweh closing up that ark.
That's
He's the
it.
one that closed the ark. Noah didn't.
That's right. He said, Elohim got to close that door, because he's the only one that can open a door. He's the only one that can close a door.
And that's
Because
what
IDMR is like that open door in the ark. Everybody's invited to come in.
This
that's
is it.
right.
And then when that pandemic came, that door's closed.
There you go. There you go. And we do know. Look how many people missed this visitation.
Yes. Yes.
Look how many people. I mean, look, if you had 8 souls
That's right.
in
That's
that
it.
ark,
That's right. Eight
and
souls.
8 is the number of new beginnings.
That's right.
So look at all of those souls that were left outside, that were lost.
Wow.
They missed his visitation. Why? Because they didn't believe the report.
That's right. That's
And
right.
isn't that
Wow.
how our scripture started yesterday?
Yes, it did.
Isaiah 53rd chapter, who has believed our report?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And I mean, that's if you don't believe the report. And then that take you right on over to Colossians. So now when you believed,
Hmm.
then you were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise. Because
Ephesians. That's Ephesians first chapter.
everything is, yeah,
Mhm.
because everything that is filled is not sealed.
Right. Right.
Now, see, you had to see that ark. That ark was pitched. And see, we don't
Hmm.
want gone through that pitch before. It was pitched inside and outside.
That's right.
So nothing could get out of it and nothing could get into it. Now we
Hmm.
are pitched right now as we speak. Our natural physical bodies are pitched,
Right.
and they are pitched for the purpose. There's things that can come into the body in a certain way and things to go out of the body in a certain way. And no, they are not in the same state. And
Right.
if you don't think we are working, you see all of this death occurring, Every day, people are just, I mean, it's almost like a sense of, and that takes us back to those winds where
Yes.
we are breathing.
Yes.
It's like people are breathing in insanity.
Yeah. Yeah. We looking at why. Well, look at what we subjected to unwillingly.
Exactly.
Look at what we subjected to. See, when we talk about plate 5A, all this death and this darkness and all this stuff
Exactly.
that's manifesting within this darkness, this
Uh-huh.
chaoticness, this is all
Exactly.
this chaoticness, this is all this stuff that's within this darkness, that's within the world that we are
That's right.
subjected to. And people, you understand what I'm saying, that does not have the Holy Spirit, you
Right.
understand what I'm saying? They're vulnerable to this. He can break into your home and steal you
That's it.
and have you do stuff that you wouldn't even believe. You
That's
understand
it.
what I'm saying? That it was
That's
you doing until
That's
it's
it.
eternally too late. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? See,
I'm telling you.
we're looking at that now with all these court cases that we have now with people, with the people who killing people. You understand what I'm saying?
Killing
See,
people right and left. You can't
right
even
and left.
understand. There's not
See?
even enough room in the courts to try all of those cases
Right.
because the
Wow.
deaths are happening simultaneous.
Right. That's right.
You know, you don't even have you thought the courts were backed up, they're really backed up now.
Mhm.
And not only that, as a result of this pandemic, do you know that in New York City, they still have not buried all of those bodies? You
Wow.
still have bodies in refrigerated trailers
Right. Now
as
look,
we
look,
speak.
look, that's just going back to what you were saying. Now this is the World Trade Center that happened in New York.
Yes.
The reason
Mhm.
why is because now it's got to go back pertaining to the Garden of Eden. They
Mhm.
call New York the Big Apple.
That's right.
So therefore, it has to take you back to the garden to where you see the transgression happening, manifesting right back there.
That's it. There
See?
you go.
Mhm.
There you go. I'm serious.
See?
Look, you can't get out of it.
Can't. You
Yeah.
can't. See?
It
You
just
can't.
shows you that overturning and overturning, and people are still dying daily
Yes.
by the hundreds of thousands.
Mhm.
Because we're just looking at the numbers in the United States, but we haven't even looked at the numbers in the world. And how do
Yes.
I know that? Because every day you have what they call a new variant arising in another continent.
Well,
Europe
India is
has a
infected
new
now.
variant. Africa has a new variant.
Yeah. Well, India is infected now.
Yeah, in India. And look how many folks you got in India. And ain't no room for them. They're
No.
A
already stuck
billion.
together. They don't even have 6 inches apart.
Right.
They can't even they can't even distance themselves 6 inches apart because there's so many of them. And
And they said they're getting infected far faster than anyone in the world. 300,000 infections a day.
guess
They're,
what? Guess what? Do you know that one of their idols is rats?
Yes.
They have
oh,
temples dedicated to rats.
oh, dang. Oh, man, you just gave me a revelation. Oh, wow.
No,
Oh,
because hey,
that is
hey,
right. Oh,
that's
that
true.
is so right.
They have temples to where they will cook pies, cakes, all kind of sweets, and take them in them temples. And
Yes,
I'm talking about, you remember the movie Willard and Ben?
yes,
I
yes.
mean, millions and billions of rats just in there just
Rats.
eating, and you better not kill one of them.
Not one of them.
You better not step on a mouse or a rat,
And
they will
and then
kill you.
right, and then they got holy cow over there too.
Holy cow, too. And people over there starving, and they got
Starving
cows
too.
over there,
And they
and
want
you
and
take
they
one, and
food
they
all
will not,
around them.
you better not get no milk from one of them cows over there.
Right. Food all around them and they can't partake. Do you know that's like a form of anorexia?
Yeah.
Didn't Yahweh give us dominion over the animals? It's like the animals have dominion over them.
Yeah,
Right.
until after the flood. And
But
then
look, it goes back to
that
what you
thing
said
turned around.
about Romans 1:21.
Mm-hmm.
They serving the creature instead of the creator.
That's right. That's right. He said,
And
because
he already said in the Ten Commandments, he says, don't worship nothing in the waters, above the waters, in the skies above. He told them, don't do it, what they doing. Exactly what he said not to
that's
do.
exactly what they're doing. And remember after the flood, and Yahweh said, now He said, not like where you had dominion over them animals before the flood. Now the fear of you is gonna be up on the animals, and you, like say, in other words, now, because they weren't eating any animals back there.
Right. That's
Not
right.
before the flood.
That's right.
It wasn't until after the flood that they started partaking of animals.
That's right. The eating of meat.
Hello.
And that's what we eating now. Meat. Ain't no more, ain't no more, ain't no
No,
more, you know. Yeah. See, you gotta
telling
eat and then the fruits again. You know, we have to
and,
make
and
the
isn't
round
it
trip all the way.
interesting that you have this upsurge of vegetarians and vegans?
Mm-hmm.
You're having less carnivores. Now you've got you got vegetarians and vegans these days.
Right. That's right.
Herbivores.
Yeah, herbivores. Yeah, all of that. I mean, what? Don't you see this thing is going back to where it came from?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You
Yes,
know,
I do.
because the cattle are becoming diseased.
Yes. And guess what they have you know how they look and they see what is the purest or healthiest meat, you know what I'm saying, for like how they be looking, it's like what you're saying, because
Uh-huh.
all the meat and everything is being diseased and plagued. Guess what is the most purest meat on the market right now?
What is it, Doc?
Swine, pig.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Isn't that amazing?
They said that pig does not have any contaminators in it like they've been finding in the chicken and in the beef. And I said, wow. Now you know that pigs eat slop.
And I was just getting ready to say that. Well, they grow up in the slop.
They grow up.
Mhm.
We do know ain't nothing nastier than a chicken, because
That's
a chicken will eat anything.
anything. The chicken will eat anything. Hmm.
They will
Wow.
eat anything.
It'll eat you.
Hey,
It'll peck and eat you.
that's
And
it.
you know what I mean?
That's
And go
it.
right on and
They,
like
they would, right, because that's that. See, because why? Why isn't it interesting that you have a fowl of the air, which is a vulture? And guess what? A vulture is a turkey.
yeah. But
Mm-hmm. They are. They're related.
As a turkey, a vulture is a turkey.
right, a skinny
I
turkey.
said, oh, by the time you get through with this, you ain't gonna want none of that. Yeah, but I mean, just look at that. The fowl of the air, fowl meaning FOUL and
Right.
FOWL.
That's right. That's right. Wow.
The
Wow.
vultures be sitting out there on that perch just waiting for
Just
you to
waiting.
kill over so they can dine. And guess what? And they dine on the innards.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Oh
They
yeah.
like the gut bucket stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's
They
what
can't
they pick that bale of the flesh and get the innards. Yep.
Oh yes, indeed.
It's
Yes,
soft. It's soft. It's softer than the outer skin.
mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and they got where all the proteins and the
Look,
nutrients and all the good stuff
all
is.
of that,
So,
and your proteins are in your organ meats.
that's right. That's why
Uh-huh.
they. That's all. That's why that's all they want. You know. And if
Uh-huh.
you notice that even when the animal kingdom, they eat your entrails more so than the flesh. That's the last part
That's
that
it.
they eat. They want your entrails, and then they'll eat your flesh after the part. You know,
That's it.
or they'll leave that for the hyenas. See, they want all that
That's
soft
it.
tissue meat. You know what I
I'm
mean?
telling you,
Mhm.
everybody's got their choice part, don't they?
Right. That's right.
You know.
That's
And
right.
then if you look at the people, the so-called the so-called cannibal culture,
Hmm.
and you see from humans eating other humans,
Hmm.
they usually come out with a type of palsy. And
Mm.
even they will tell you they eat the muscles and the innards. They don't mess with that skin.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I'm studying Aboriginal and Native peoples.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And you can see people who eat other people. They have a particular look about them.
They do.
They
They
do.
do. They do. They
They
do.
have a particular look about them.
They do.
They
They
kind of
do.
look like they crazy.
That's
Yeah.
why. That's why. you need to pay attention to some of these stars and that fizzle drip, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell the ones that have been doing that too.
Oh yes.
Because the ones that have been doing that fizzle drip, even though that they're old, they have kind of, they said that fizzle drip has been their fountain of youth. You know
Oh
what I
yes.
mean? But it's just
Oh, yeah.
going back to just like, they ain't nothing but vampires, modern day vampires.
That's
you know?
it. That's it.
That's
That's it.
that's really horrible. That is
It
really
is.
horrible.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But
Uh,
you again, as I said, you have to see it all.
yeah,
If
yeah,
Yahweh hadn't shown us, we wouldn't understand it.
that's true.
And yet it is laid down in the first 5 books of the Bible.
Everything,
Everything
everything.
is laid down in them first 5 books. And everything after that first 5 books, you see them looking back at.
I forgot that scripture where they said I think it's Psalms, they will do something and not be ashamed. I think it's part of the Psalm 119, but everybody's doing their sins and not being ashamed. Like when I see on social media, when I'm at work, people, tattooing 666 on them and the
Oh,
pentagram.
oh yeah.
It used to be a few 20 years ago, but now in the past 20 years, it's so many of them.
Everybody's
You wouldn't
marked
believe
up.
how many of them are out there.
People out there marked up looking strange.
Yeah.
Looking
And
strange.
then the homosexual doctrine, I'm not just talking about the homosexual people, but it's their doctrine that's just getting in everything. You were born this way, and they're getting into everything. Disney, Netflix, all the stuff that we normally had our lifestyles with. It's affected by the homosexual doctrine that's being put in.
That's why they're called now they're talking about inclusion in social.
That's their doctrine. Uh-huh.
Yeah, everything is okay. That's Romans 1:21. Because when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not. It's Elohim.
That's
So
right.
how you gonna take the Yahweh's and you look at the rainbow and you
That they
covenant
defiled.
with Noah, and he said by this covenant, but then they adapt the rainbow to say this is inclusion. But hey, we're not we even have look what do now you talk about an identity crisis. You have now got pansexuals, you got transsexuals, you got transgender, you got LBGQ, and then they stuck the Q on there to mean queer.
And they're being fruitful and multiplying like crazy.
That's just too much. I mean, you know what I mean? You mess around and call.
And they don't produce offspring, but they sure are being fruitful and multiplying.
That's the killing part about it.
Right. That's funny, but that's true. That's true.
Because
you got people so-called coming out the closet. Now now back in the 60s and stuff like that, in the 70s, that's unheard of. And then if you said that you was a homosexuality or homosexual, something to that effect, you understand how you were treated, because people they kept that way secluded. But now, because everything is so accepted.
Yeah, and again, I remember when they started doing what they call gene selectivity.
Mm-hmm.
And people, if a woman was pregnant, you could go in and refigure them genes. If you wanted a girl or boy, oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Genetic splicing or something like
so
that.
Now look what you have as a result of that. Now,
right.
How are you going to tell me? Now, and as I said, I don't understand it. See, I really don't understand it. But how are you going to tell me you got a 6-year-old that has decided that they don't want to be this, that, or the other? They haven't lived long enough to make a decision like that.
Right. That's right.
So either that or and then they're letting the outside people influence their kids.
Right. Where did that come from? And all you got to do is put it in Hollywood. That's why it's called Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
See,
And real parents have to fight them homosexuals off, trying to tell our kids how. I'm like, is that your kid? No, but you should teach it. No, you don't tell me what to teach my kid.
that's right.
Right.
But see, you should have got hit with that.
I have to pull out my sword all the time.
I know it. Because you got, as I said, remember it started with the state. Your 12-year-old daughter could go at lunchtime and get an abortion without your permission. But if a car hit your 12-year-old daughter, they couldn't treat them without your signature. Now
Right.
make me understand that.
Yeah, that is the oxymoron if not one.
Make me understand that the state go just come in and tell you, well, you can't hit your child. What do you mean?
Well, I know that to be the truth. I experienced that. Something similar to that.
You cannot discipline your child because the state said so. You can't see. That's what I'm saying. You can't let everything in your household. And you gotta walk upright in your household yourself.
Right.
See, you the one that's got to walk upright. Don't you be the one that is the cause of your child going bonkers out there. That's what 2 Timothy, the 5th chapter, tell you. You got to take charge of your household. If you don't, you're worse than an infidel.
That's right. That's right.
And that's all you do. Oh yes, well, he doesn't want to. What do you mean you don't want? What? I'm out here working every day, breaking my butt to put some food on the table and put some clothes on your back, and you tell me what you don't want.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, I give you that paper bag that you came in here with. Yeah. After I apply the Board of Education to your seat of knowledge.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Because see, if you don't eat, again, as I said, you are responsible for your children. You brought them here. You're responsible for them. And if you don't handle that, Yahweh's gonna handle you.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you're seeing nowadays. Yahweh is handling these parents who have not handled their children. Why? Right. Because when you bring forth offspring, you are charged. That's what philoprogenitiveness is.
That's right. That's right.
And you cannot let here you got people, folks are going, I've known people that going out working, taking care of 40-year-old kids that move back in their house and they run in their parents' house. What? No. I said something wrong with that picture.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I want my child to have better than I did. I said, well, what was wrong with what you had?
Right.
I just asked them the question. See, right. I just asked them. Don't bring me that mess. Well, he doesn't want to. What do you mean he doesn't? Wait a minute. He ain't paying no light bill in here. I'm paying the light bill and he don't want to.
I learned something from Clarence Harrison about going back to the way the world is, the goths and the homosexuals. It's in Revelation's 13th chapter that he can't buy or sell, save he had the mark. So my example is I'm against homosexuality, their doctrine and everything. If you talk one bad thing about homosexuality, what do? They attack you. Oh, you're a jerk. He's a nice person. You don't attack homosexuals. I'm like, really? And then the transgenders, why are you hurting their feelings? You're fired. See? You can't buy or sell, save you have the mark in your head or your hand.
And it's getting to be the same way with the, check it out now. Look, it's getting to be the same way with this pandemic. Don't you realize that if you don't have that pandemic card where you went and got shot, that there's some places you can't go?
Wow.
I said, well, hell, I don't want to go to your damn baseball game, no way, because I don't want to be around them.
Right.
But it's coming to that right now.
Right now.
Yep.
Now.
That's why they got the so-called pandemic card.
They call it the passport.
They're just trying to introduce it. And this is why they're trying to thin in everybody out so that they can try to implement and introduce that mark. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Minute. Now you're gonna have sections. The people who have shots, they can't sit with the people who haven't had the shots. And I said, oh yeah, okay, I see where this is going. Yeah, I said, yeah,
Okay, and that makes me that cracks me up about the social distancing. 6 feet.
all that. You know,
6 feet distance, huh?
I said 6 feet apart or 6 feet under. Which way you want it?
666. It don't matter. Just as long as it's a 6.
6 feet. You ready for that?
Just as
I
long
said,
as it's 6.
Wow.
I said, see,
Yahweh is just revealing so much to me right now. It's just.
look, it said as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end.
Hey, and we haven't even got into that yet. You know what I mean? That's upcoming. So I'm just like, well, you guys already introduced that, so we're gonna have to get into that. See?
This is it. I told you, every day something comes up, and you say, oh, we gotta hit that. We gotta hit that. That's why I told you got so many cases. You don't have the court space to even try a case.
That's right.
Wow.
You were already overwhelmed before this came. You don't have enough judges. You don't have enough bailiffs. You don't have enough lawyers. As many lawyers and liars as you got out there, you still don't have enough to handle the amount of court things that are going on now. And guess what? You got so many people in jail now. You got to let them out if they didn't commit a victim offense.
Wow.
That's true.
Woe unto the children that have to give sucking these days.
You know. So that's why I said, pray that your flight be not in winter.
That's right.
Because this is the winter, baby.
That's who you telling? You feel how cold it is outside?
Look,
to be springtime?
Look at here.
With no rain?
I'm telling you, and I told you, see, you can't tell the seasons. Well, look at all these different genders are. You can't tell the difference. You can't tell whether you got a male or female or what. And they tell you, look, call me an it or them. And when we were growing up, you didn't tell us them. What you mean them? You had a fight on your hands. Now everything is a motherless pronoun.
Them what? Them what? They was waiting for you. Them what? Them who? What you talking about?
That's right. But now, oh yeah, we want you to refer to us as.
Oh.
You can't even say male and female anymore without offending somebody.
You might say the wrong thing. You might say, "Excuse me, man," or then say, "What man is the woman?"
Because, look, I have worked with a couple of people that I had questions about, and I didn't know what it was until I saw that they were in the same bathroom that I was in.
Wow.
And prior to that, I did not know what I was looking at.
Wow.
I did not know. See, so again, but imagine it said, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. If Yahweh said it, you have got to see it.
Got to.
So now, can you imagine what that first crew looked like? Them antediluvian people look like?
I don't. Oh my goodness.
Yahweh say, hey, man's mind is evil. It is nothing that he won't do.
Right.
I gotta wipe him out. Just like, and what did it tell you? That's why that angel was standing there and look, so that all Adam and Eve had to do was turn around and walk back in there. If that angel hadn't been standing there with that sword going all different ways, barring the way to the tree of life.
Right.
That was Yahweh's mercy right there.
That's right.
We got to get out of here, y'all. You know, we'll be here till 3 o'clock in the morning.
That was beautiful. That was all beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, but it was. But I'm telling you, we have an identity crisis. Yeah. Today, as we speak, we have an identity crisis. It first started out as identity theft.
Yeah.
Now you have an identity crisis because you don't know what you are dealing with. And along with that, we're talking about the state of mind. when you're looking at the outside, you're looking at the end result. What is inside of that head?
Mm-hmm.
And now you got a mask on the face too? You know what the hell you dealing with, Junior?
Mm.
That's why we have to remain to keep the same statement as our founder. And that is, I am Yahweh, and so are you.
The difference is I'm conscious of it and you ain't.
One more thing, and I know y'all know this one. When you see the abomination of desolation, stand in the holy place. And where are we?
In
Hey,
the holy place.
and our head better be in the most holy place.
Mm.
Because it ain't no veil where on that highway, it ain't no veil up there.
None. Look at it. It's straight shows
It
you
don't not.
the truth,
It
the
don't
way, and the life. There ain't no veil.
Right. So
None.
you look at this, look at the size of the highway and look at what's around it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Goshen in the midst of Egypt.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So listen, folks, I love you guys.
Love you too, Elder.
Look,
Love you too.
see you, Yahweh willing. See you Monday evening.
Okay.
Okay, baby.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Call me, Doc, if you get stuck on another book.
Hey, you know it. You know it. You already know it.
I love it.
Okay.
Take care now. Good night, guys.
All right.
Good
Shalom.
night.
Yes, sir.